Welcome, everybody, to the Calamity of the 100, Episode 1, The Source.
Welcome, everybody, today to our first streamed game on Curl Up and Dice. Itza, otherwise known as Alex, the DM, bring to you a game based in my world, the world of Crucible, in the campaign of the Calamity of the 100. I have 10 years of experience DMing. I have been professionally DMing for the past 4 years, and I've run a myriad of campaigns to their conclusion, including a few campaigns that have just about reached up all the way to level 18 or 19. This week, we'll be joined by some of my more experienced players that I've played with over the years. As we go down the line, I will introduce each of their characters and who they will be playing. They'll also give a brief plug if they have any, introduce their characters. So why don't we start with Charlie? Could you start us off with Pinky?
Hi guys, my name's Charlie. I will be playing Pinky, the Kobold Artificer. Bit about myself, I've been playing D&D now for roughly 3 years. Very much enjoy the game. It is a bit therapeutic for me, and I'm eager to share it with you guys.
Next we have from Australia, one James playing Rusty.
Hey everyone, I'm James. Been playing D&D for better part of 6 years, but still don't expect me to be very good. I'm going to be playing Rusty, who's a dwarven wizard. First time playing a wizard, so take me a while.
From there, we go on to our largest, as Ryan playing one Marv.
Ooh, yeah, I'm Marv. Hi, guys. My name's Ryan. Outside of Marv, I've been playing, I believe it's been 5 years. You lose track playing D&D. I stream a little bit. I might plug Aros Blanco for my perspective of this. If you'd like to see it, hit me up in the chat. Otherwise, I look forward to playing this campaign. I'm playing as a rogue.
Next in line to probably maybe our smallest, or it might be a bit of a contest here, but Mark, could you describe yourself and who you are playing?
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Mark. I'll be playing Scud Booyarg. I'm a Goblin Divine Soul Sorcerer, multiclassed Undead Warlock. I've been playing D&D since Redbox, so I think my first game was 1989. I'm probably the old guy here, but I did stop for a little while, but started playing again when I discovered D&D could be played online again. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, our technical host for this campaign, one George.
Hi everyone, I'm playing Milo, or Milo van der Smit. He's a fighter. He sounds very Dutch, for I am Dutch. I'm also a streamer. Some of you might know me, and I'm looking forward to playing this. I've been playing D&D since I was 10, and I'm now 578. So I've been playing for a while. I'm 29 now, so I've been playing for. I also DM in a game on Sunday, which is a little less serious than this one. It's called D&D's Nuts. It's on the Haunted Youth channel. Check that out.
God.
Well, why don't we begin with some small disclaimers for the campaign. So we are playing a modified version of 5th edition. As such, some of the classes and subclasses have been finagled around with. At some point in the future, I will write down and try and format my rules. They're written up, but they're on a Google Doc, so it really doesn't look great for anyone to read right now. But apart from my players, who I'm subjecting to my eyeball torture. But on that note, there are some differences. Some things have been balanced for suitability and just for the sake of fun. Along with some classes that have been heavily buffed because no one plays them in some cases. But moving into things, is there anything else we want to plug meta-wise before we get into the actual Calamity of the 100? I don't think there was anything else.
I mean, in general, just we all, we've homebrewed our decisions and we're all comfortable with them, and it's what makes us all happy with like flanking and other, little things here and there.
Yeah,
they're blame us in chat. I mean, feel free to, but we've all agreed on it beforehand.
Yeah, there are some homebrew rules. These are all agreed on beforehand. If some things look a little out of place, that's why. Mostly it's to just speed up combat or to make things more interesting if it seems a bit strange.
If something seems strange, just ask about it and we'll answer in chat. Generally, we will be role playing the night away.
Yeah, we'll try to answer questions, as many as we can, for those of us who don't go away on the breaks. We'll be taking a break on the hour each hour, and these games generally should go from about 3 hours to 3.5 hours, I would imagine, most of the time. And at the end of the end of the game, we'll do one more round of questions for 15 minutes or so. Okay, with that all said, I think we can begin, everyone. Is everyone ready for some D&D?
Let's go.
Okay, with that said, let us begin.
As we look on to the continent of Westerland, we pan down to a set of hills hidden and shrouded beneath untold tons of stone, rock sediment, and bones of things that have lain still for millennia.
As we come down, we see an enormous chamber built upon a large dais, fabrications, strange clockworks, and a hall full of 100 warriors from across the land. This secret gathering has been called upon by themselves, without any interludes or sides for governments to get in the way or bureaucracies. The world's most powerful warriors come together to separate the very universe itself, trying to keep away a dark foe who wishes to invade all who would stand against them, are now gathered in this chamber. With that said, as we look over these heroes from myth and legend, we see that they circle in on the process. As we look around, the figures stand tall and proud, but something is amiss. Perhaps due to someone pressing their luck, or perhaps an unseen saboteur, the process goes awry. As we look, reality fractures, the multiverse separates, and all is lost. The heroes of the world have failed, and now things become quiet. Perhaps seconds pass, perhaps millennia, but slowly but surely we come to a reality, but one out of time and space. As we pan down on a small town named Azerat, we hear about this strange world, the world of Crucible.
Welcome, everybody, to the world of Crucible,
where the calamity of the 100 has led to a split in the world, a split in the very reality of itself, fracturing the world and pulling the bonds of reality until they're frayed paper thin. Now emotions, memories, and even more are leaking through in spots of the world. But for now, no one seems to notice, and everyone goes about their day like nothing catastrophic has happened. In the world of Crucible, there are no gods, but instead the life force named passion. As it's said, passion is a divine power, and much like passion, it is derived from one's belief and passion in their work. Say a blacksmith crafts a great sword. They are infused with the divine energy of passion. Through their smithing experience and belief in their craft, they can wield the very power like that of a god. But that being said, there are not grand things without small petty annoyances. Due to the way creatures and people are reincarnated in this world, people are separated into one of three castes: the light heirs, dusk heirs, and dark heirs. Separated by eye color, those with light hues of eye color are reincarnated and the only ones able to access divine power. Those of the Dusk Heirs are reincarnated as someone who was okay in a previous life, and those who are dark heirs are those reincarnated from the dregs of society, and those to be lamented and disdained. Due to this, the world has taken on a strange tilt, and an odd form of caste system has begun to take place. But you will all see in time. As we look into the small town of Azerat, we smell the sea breeze coasting over. The froth crashes on the rocks some few hundred meters distance, but we hear the clank, bang, and whistle of industry. Looking around, we see that away from these shrouded scenes of the heroes of the world, we see a very different scene. Two boys kicking a ball back and forth, and a rather hunched over figure laden with a big sack rooting around in a large trash pile. As we see these kids kick the ball back and forth, we hear the crack of the ball and a whiz as it dins off something nearby, Pinky, startling the holy hell out of you. As we see you probably come to and react to this errant ball, what does Pinky look like as he reacts?
You see, Pinky is a black-scaled kobold. He's got lighter scales near the area of his belly. You can see on top of his head, he's got a set of short, pale horns, and on top of those horns, a set of spectacles with many, many lenses made to see things, view things a lot closer. On his back, he's got this giant backpack filled with a wide variety of garbage and knickknacks. And same for around his belt, you see a bunch of different tools, very many different tools for doing a variety of things. His eye color is red, marking him as a dark heir. He stands at about 3 feet tall, roughly, and he's got a small tail poking out his backside.
Yeah. As you look down at these kids, one of them goes, "Can you give us the ball?"
Excuse me, but this is my home. I would ask you to please vacate the premises.
Your home smells, though. Good one, Trent. Give us
Well,
the
it's,
ball.
No, it's my ball now. Leave immediately.
My dad said because of what your people did in your past life, you should give me the ball now, or else you're always going to be a dark heir.
Will you leave if I give you the ball back?
Yeah.
As I pick up the ball, I puncture it and throw it back at them.
Now leave!
Ah!
I have important work to do.
I'm going to tell my dad, and he's going to mess up your smelly home. Let's
I
go,
doubt he'll
Trent.
want to come here. Goodbye.
Yeah, this place smells. As we see the two kids stomp off, some of them vigorously gesticulating the version of the version of a certain type of bird at you. As they move away, leaving the junkyard, what does Pinky's home look like, or his abode, as stinky as it is?
Oh, upon looking at it, you wouldn't really see much. You'd just see a pile of garbage, but inside there are heaps of tunnels that he's crafted and put some scaffolding inside maybe to support the structure. But looking at it, you cannot tell that it's a home, and it is very much his home. He loves to grab just garbage and make things out of it. So probably all around the junkyard, you see little statuettes made out of cogwheels and bent piping, and there are probably a fair amount of traps around to keep maybe vermin out.
Like skeletons, we see several constructs sticking out of the ground, many of them retired since the events in Crucible some years previous. But that being said, Pinky, as when the kids kicked something, you see they've dislodged a set of paneling that you had assembled earlier. As you look, you see a slight glint there.
Could this be?
As he rushes over to where the panel is, he rips it aside and looks down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sitting there, you see a gleaming... it's a bit cracked, but that's worth a lot of money, Pinky, as you pull free a arcane gem. It still has some energy left in it, as you see swirling motes of mana contained within the gem.
Are the passions It's not quite the size I need, but certainly it could fetch a pretty penny. So I'd even be able to finish my jetpack. Oh, this is a good day indeed. Grand, I should rush to the store.
As we pan away from there, we zoom out to a store not too far away, actually just on the other side of the street corner, as we see a store full of menageries, odds and ends. Although it's looking a bit scant on the shelves, above we see written in a careful hand, Rusty's Finders Keepers pawn shop. As we look inside, we see a fellow moving his way inside as we see him lugging what appears to be a set of armor inside. You see him like slightly dragging it and looking from side to side as he peers inside. Not too far behind the counter, we see a familiar looking fellow. Would you care to describe one Rusty for
Yeah,
all
behind the counter
viewers?
you see a dwarf about 4 feet 3 inches tall, probably. Fairly slim for a dwarf. He doesn't really exercise much. He's not really wearing his adventuring gear as you see in the picture right now, just sort of casual clothes, simple tunic. He's got his hat to the side. He's currently in the process of boxing everything up. Looks like possibly leaving, packing up for something, but yeah, the shelves are quite scarce at the moment, and he's just wiping down things and getting everything into a good, decent order as he sees the person come in, I suppose.
Mhm. Yeah, you see a man of middle years, nondescript, dusk hair. He's like shrouded, not the cleanest as you look at his worn clothes. He shifts about and like looks both ways before coming into your store and like eyes you, Rusty, as he says,
You're closing up the place, Rusty. It's looking a bit scant these days.
Yeah, you could say that. Can I help you with anything? What you got there?
Oh, just a little something. I was hoping to pawn my old set of adventuring letters.
and like he like rests it on the table.
Take it.
As you look at it,
Give it a
Rusty,
look over.
yeah, having the shop, the storeman's eye, it's about like 2 or 3 sizes too big for this guy.
What's the condition? Does it look fairly new and in good wear, or does it look like
Yeah,
it's old?
It's in decently good wear. A few small nicks on the hide armor, but nothing that would
Functional,
cause it
yeah.
damage. Yeah.
It's your old adventuring gear, did you say?
Yeah. Sprained my ankle. Can't work for a while.
Well, looks like it probably must have lost some weight since then.
Yeah. Haven't been working out by the beach.
Well,
What can I
good
get
on
for
you,
it?
I suppose. We're looking here. If you can see, I sort of flash quickly so we can't actually properly see. You can see the maker's mark under there. I'm pretty sure I know who made this armor, and you don't look like you're the type of person that would have visited his store in past times. So, what type of armor is this? If it's a leather, hide
Armor. As
armor.
you look it up and down, yeah, you see the segmented pieces of
Mm.
reinforced leather as opposed to the more light leathers.
Now, I don't think you'd be able to get rid of this anywhere else other than here, and to keep you out of that trouble you might go through, I guess the best I can probably do is 4 gold for it. As you can see, I'm fairly empty at the moment.
I knew this was a bad idea. Damn.
Otherwise, the guards around the corner owe me a favor, so I could give them a yell.
Don't be a fucker. Okay. I'll take the 4.
All right, take out 4 gold, give it to him.
Just like shakes his head. He's like,
You're closing up. There's no need to be a bastard about it.
he like mutters coming out. As he does so,
Business
we
for
see-
profit, sir.
yeah, he says,
Out of the fucking way.
as you see a very angry man push past you, Pinky, leaving the store.
I take the armor and I look at it a second. Yeah, I could use this later. And just put it under the table for now.
Yeah, you hear the clacking ding of the bell. Rusty is, man, this is busy, especially since you're closing up.
Oh, 2 customers in 2 minutes. Lucky day. Hello, friend.
Oh, hello. That was a rather rude customer of yours. Sir, I have come to you with a most lucrative opportunity.
As I pull out the cracked gem
This, you see, is an arcane crystal. It still holds untold power. And I have come straight to you. How fortuitous for you.
Right. Can I take a closer look at this gem?
But of course.
I'll set it on the table.
What is this thing I'm looking at? This gem?
It is an arcane gem due to the way technology functions in the world. This gem is generally used in a kind of replacement for electricity, or it might even store lightning if someone was to cast spells into it. Basically, it functions like a generator slash battery all in one. As you peer over it, this was probably used to power a construct at some stage of no small size. As you look over at Rusty, the crack means that it's not going to be as efficient as it used to be, but like ballparking it alone is worth about 200 gold. Like it is decently priced, and if someone was able to repair it completely, it might take a while, but it could bring it up to nearly 500 gold.
Rusty, knowing that he's closing up shop and he's basically selling off all his wares so he could even afford to travel out of town, knows that that's going to be far out of his price range anyway. So he says to the little fellow that's come in with it, he hands it back to him. I say, that's a quite an interesting item you got there, mate. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to help you with paying for such a thing. I'm just closing up shop now. I think Marv's around the corner might be able to help you with that though. Just the general store of it for adventuring gear, just around the block. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm actually headed there myself now. Just pop in and say hi before I head to the tavern. But so I can show you the way if you want. But yeah, I can't help you here, I'm afraid.
Well, a rather busy person, but I could entrust it to you. You are a fairly renowned merchant around here. How about this?
And I'll walk over to the counter and I'll probably see like maybe a quill there.
I shall take this quill as collateral.
You have to get on the small folk bench to stand up for the counter.
You'll take that quill for. Yep. Okay. No worries.
No. You misunderstand. No, I will entrust the gem to you. Go sell it to Marv, and perhaps you and I can split the profit. I shall take your quill as collateral.
All right. That sounds like a good deal to me, I suppose. Where can I find you after I've made this trade?
I usually tend to my people call it a junkyard, but it's more of a land of treasures. So yes, you can find me there.
Right. I've heard rumor that someone's been seen scrambling about there lately. No worries. I will swing by there this afternoon after I go speak to Marv, and I'll sell this gem for you.
Fantastic. Well, bye.
As it turns around and runs out of the shop.
Leaving the shop.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, we see. Yeah, Rusty left on her own, giving it the last once over. How's Rusty taking it? Looking one last time in the store. In the next day or two, you probably won't see this place again. Maybe even for years, or maybe not at all. Once you sell it.
It's a bit solemn. He's looks around, sort of makes sure that everything is in decent order. Everything's boxed up. He takes a curious glance at this weird gem from this weird person that he's just got. He pockets it. You see him read this letter, this one last time. Nods himself, folds up, puts it away. I think then the last thing he does, slowly works his way out to the front, collects the signage that says "Finders Keepers," puts that away somewhere, and then heads over to Marv's around the corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As we pan away, as Rusty begins his rather brief walk over, we see Marvinsky's Emporium. Or I believe it is called the Dragon's Hoard, is it not? Last we decided, Marv.
It is, but it's going to be it's like a sign that's covered. It's not fully been revealed yet.
Yeah, we see like a little drape on it, like the opening celebration, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as we look around, what would Marv currently be doing on the grand closing of Rusty's is happening, which is perfect, Marv, for the store.
He's kicked up in a chair behind the counter, just fiddling with a four-sided cube with a bunch of colors on it, trying to solve whatever it is, like a toy almost. And he's sitting there just thinking about, oh man, tomorrow's going to be such a great day. Can't wait to have all the customers. Can't wait.
Yeah, we see the store is jam packed with weapons, armor, healing kits, climber's rope, anything anyone could need. Like clearly, like hundreds of gold is on display in this place.
It's a swath of like, if you've ever been to like a dealership, it's all the same sword, just slightly different. You got it all probably from the same merchant.
You're the
shields.
Poundland of,
Yeah,
of
very
general
generic.
stores.
Very generic. Everything's got a nice crisp white tag still attached to the handle with clear numbers written on them.
Yeah. As you look over, you hear a crackle and the door comes open.
Is that you, Rusty? Oh, all right, I'm coming to you, mate. Hold on.
Sorry, would you care to describe Marv?
Oh yeah.
Getting ahead of herself.
He was kicked back in the chair, but as he leans forward and stands up, he's a tall bloke. I think he's like 6 foot. Let me look at it again. 6.5 foot. He's huge dude, hutching over each of the beams as he walks by. Got a long black cape, a little tattered towards the end. You know, he's not as dressed up as his shop is. Oddly enough, he's just kind of comfortable, loose wear. Before
he
he
looks like the bouncer for the store rather than the store owner.
And he gets up, he throws the toy thing in the desk drawer, and he stands up, stretches. He's got a long arms, short neck, all green scales, just like in the image there, and saunters over to the door. But he's got like a sachet to his walk. He's just kind of like left, right, left, right. A very calm guy.
What sort of lineage does Marv have that Rusty would see? As we see, he's a bit mixed in terms of lineage.
Well, he's dusk-eyed. He's got the green eyes. And the Dragonborn class. Sorry for the mental talk there. He is, but he's more of a reskinned to a crocodile kind of look.
Dragonborn with roots in the lizard folk.
Perhaps, yeah, that's the best way to put it. If you can imagine what those two would look like put together. Long mouth, teeth sharp to point it out, yeah.
Yeah, with that said, yeah, Rusty, you come in as, wow, this place is definitely set to be open soon. And it seems some of your suggestions were taken to heart as it looks well organized.
Yeah, I think that probably might have popped in a couple of times in the past as he knocks on the door.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Rusty? Pulls the door open. There's no creak in the door as he opens it. It's just been lubed.
Hey, Marv, take a look at this. And he just tosses you the gem.
Oh, shit. Okay. Hold it
How
up.
much do you reckon you want to give me for that one?
This would make a great paperweight. I don't have one of those. Could I get this for 3 bronze?
Takes it back.
All right. Hey, no problem. I don't
Bronze
really deal with
forever.
the magic-y stuff. You know, if it was metal, I could tell you in a heartbeat, but
Yeah, someone brought it to me just earlier, and it looks like it'd be worth a pretty penny. But obviously, I don't have the funds for it right now. As you know, I'm heading out of town tomorrow morning. I'll leave it with you. Here anyway. You can have a look at it during your shift if you want. Let me know anyway.
Paperweight. Puts it on the desk. It'll be right here. No one's
sure.
bothered me shops since I opened
Rusty
it.
is filled with confidence. So I'm just gonna head to the tavern for a bit. One last meal, a bit of a drink before
of course, I wanted to come
my
with
last
you
night.
to see
So if
you
you
off.
wanna,
I'm
meet
right
me over
behind
there.
you. No, I'm right behind us. Yeah. The same old, right? The I forget the name. I'm still new.
The Swaddled Loot Inn.
Swaddled Loot Inn. Yeah. Rusty reminds me because I would never.
You don't need to actually open shop at all.
Oh no, it's too late in the day. You want a grand opening in the beginning of the day, or I don't know what time is. I've been in here all night. Peek my head up. Is it morning? I thought it was
Rusty
nighttime.
takes a glance around, as basically like, how the heck did he afford this? He never seems to be open. And anyway,
Yeah, the
All right, let's
amount
go.
of money, even though it's duplicates, Rusty, with your trained pawneer's eye, how the hell did he get this much money? Like, something happened. Whether
It
he
is-
inherited it or he stole a bank vault's worth of money. Yeah. What's Marv's explanation been whenever this question?
He strolled in 2 months ago, and he dropped a large bank of coins on someone's table to buy this place. And he's just been asking you for help figuring out how to put the place together, because when he came in, he asked to put the front desk in, kind of blocking the front door, so he clearly didn't have any knowledge on where to put things. He's never really obviously been a shop owner, so you kind of wonder is that as well.
Yeah, Sensei Rusty has been to the rescue on many a time in the last 2 months.
It was like, if you kept all the swords together and then all the shields together, it would be a lot easier for customers to find them.
Well, hopefully after the grand opening, there'll be a little bit less stuff in here to have to organize. I've pulled my hair out enough, or scales out enough with this place. I'm ready to go get that drink. Send you off on a farewell and thank you for all your help, Dave. Got me to this point. So let's go.
Let's head off.
The Swan Loop Inn, whatever that was. You just said.
Loot.
As we see you move along through the streets, people press out of your way. A few of them tip their hats and say a goodbye to Rusty, as it's quite well known throughout town that Rusty's leaving. And they say, "Hey, Rusty, good luck on your travels. Where are you going? I didn't hear you were leaving, Rusty. Good luck." Yeah, several mugs are raised to Rusty, and several are raised to Marv at the same time. And it's like, "We're going to have a packed store to replace you, Rusty, so we won't be too lonely."
Bring your coin purses.
And I did forget to mention this, but Rusty is actually a light heir, so he's got white, yellowish eyes. So one of the few light heirs of the town. So yeah, he's got a pretty decent reputation just because of that.
Due to you dealing with pawned goods, many of the dark heirs don't envy you as much as the other light heirs, thankfully, as sometimes, especially with the more noble light heirs, things can get a bit fractious. You've even heard talk of a group called the Communards looking for equality through terror, but those are far away things you've only heard of. Not much has really been happening in the town of Azerat, as anything you've seen anyway, and quite a lot of the underbelly, Rusty. As you come in, you meet quite a few of them as you all press into the tavern. As Rusty heads over to get the usual seats, and Marv heads to get the food and drinks nearby, as we see Rusty take his spot outside, we see a bespectacled fellow also at the bar. He looks quite strange. You've never seen him before, Marv. Would you care to describe Milo as we look at this bespectacled gentleman?
Yes, you see Milo as he's sitting there hunched over a drink, talking to himself as he's reading something. You see wavy hair, shoulder length, with it's brown with some salt and pepper, spotches of grey. He's wearing not really spectacles, but a pince nez on his nose, and has a short beard, but the mustache is not connecting. He's quite tall. He's 197. That's 6'15". I know what the American units are. And he wears a long brown leather coat over some heavy armor. He also has a long sword on his belt and a medium-sized shield on his back. And furthermore, he has a small golden nose ring that makes his very bright green eyes stand out quite a bit.
Yeah, as you look over, Milo, you see that new store owner, Marv, you think he was called? He at least Lycus told you that a lizard folk came in a dragonborn came in 2 months ago, put down a bundle of money and just sped through all the bureaucracy of buying the permits and, owning the store. He's quite unique in appearance too, morphology-wise. I'm not sure if that's interesting to
it would be. He's staring a little bit. It's he looks it's sort of politely smiling
I can't help but kind of walk over, shoulder or elbow onto the countertop and lean over toward you. Are you drunk already? You're
What?
eyeing me. You look like you're deep into your cup, no?
Oh no, I was deep in this book about telepathy when you walked in. You're quite an interesting-looking fellow there, if I don't say so myself, sir.
Is that just a book? Oh, I thought that was a cup on the table.
Well, there's a book right next to it if you look very carefully.
Sorry, I was charmed by your large shield on your back. Where did you get that?
Oh yeah, it's my signature piece. It's how I charm people. No, I found that actually at the academy. I took it with me. as a way to protect myself. You know, going out into the world, finding new places, this exploring. As he starts going on a tangent, and his eyes glow wild as he seems to be very interested in everything. So where are you from? What's your name? I heard something about you, Marvinsky. No, you have a
yes,
shop.
Marv. You could call me Marv. It's quite fine. I just
I'll call
opened
you
up,
Marvinsky. I don't like
Ah.
using short names. It's silly.
You're such a dear. Yes, I'm opening up tomorrow officially. We'll be revealing the grand name and everything. So be ready tomorrow. I'm sure you'll hear plenty of roars and cheers for it. If you have an need of a new shield, I do say I have a couple that might suit your fancy.
No, my
Just,
shield is
my-
perfectly fine. It seems to block every hit that is thrown at it, but I appreciate it. So, do you want anything to drink to celebrate your newly opening of a store? I think
Yes,
that's
yeah.
quite an interesting development, no?
Yes, Rusty and I we're actually going to be catching up, and I'm going to be sending him off properly as well. He's closing. Unfortunately, I'm opening. It's great market for me, I must say. But don't tell him that.
Did
I'm
you
glad
call
he's
him
leaving.
Rusty?
Rusty?
Doesn't that mean to be exposed to the air and?
Oh
to
God,
be...
yes. It's truly dreadful when a metal's rust. It's quite sad. I know, but no, he's just a quite fine gentleman. No, I would hate for any of my metals to rust. But no, yeah, the regular drinks, please, bartender. Just look
Of
around
course.
for him.
I
I'll buy
presume
for
you're
him, eh?
here with Rusty.
Of course, the regular, please. Just send it our
Got
way.
it.
I'll pay for it, Simon. If that's okay. A celebration.
Thank you. It's Marv. But your name, dear sir.
I was talking to the barman, but yeah, I know it's Marvinsky.
Your name, dear sir. My good friend. What's your name?
Oh, Milo van der Smit.
Milo Wunderschmidt. Wow.
Van der
Please
Smit.
come join us.
Not
come join us,
Wunderschmidt.
please.
I'm not from that portion. But you can say professor as well. I am tenured.
Wow. Many years in schooling. I believe you could educate me more on whatever it is you're reading.
Oh, just some telepathy. It's quite interesting if you think about it. Something about the split duality of souls and the migration of aneromancy and everything. But I'm mostly majoring in the anthropology of the Revolonian peoples of the summa cum laude aneromancy section. That's really what I teach generally.
In a brief moment while he's talking, I'm going to look over to Rusty and eye him and go, wait, should I be inviting this guy? He's going to point with his hand like this. Should I? Good?
Yeah,
And I'm
Rusty,
just-
from your point of view, you see a guy who's talking an awful lot.
Would I have seen this fellow around town recently, or do I know
Yes, you
this
think
fellow?
his name's Milo. It seems that the mayor has at least engaged him as a curiosity. At least that's the mutterings from people who've come through the store.
So introduce me to Rusty, if you will. Where is he?
Come. Let's. I could grab the pints that I'm sure have been delivered by now, and I'll just say, come on over here, and try not to spill it as he's going around the people.
Ah, thank you, Simon.
You see the barkeeper look relieved as Milo moves away.
I was just explaining to him why the Revolonian people are so similar to the people of the Shadari Desert. But
I've
anyway,
been to either of those places. Here's Rusty. Hello, fun. And he's just going to sit down in this extra wide
Yeah, you all
chair.
sit outside in the like patio area to the tavern.
yeah, Milo lights a pipe.
Oh, you got our drinks. Nice. Cheers, mate. G'day. You are
Good
new around
day.
here?
It is night, but yeah, good day to you as well. You're Rusty?
Roderick Copperhelm, but yeah, my
Roderick
friends call me
Copperhelm.
Rusty.
Do you want me to call you Roderick Copperhelm, or do you want me to call you Rusty?
Take your pick. It doesn't matter, mate. I'm going to be heading out of town tomorrow anyway, so whatever you feel like for the
Can
night.
I call you Roddy Choddy?
No.
Man, Mike.
Then I'll
Man, he's
call you
asking
Rusty.
you what he wants you to ask him, but he just said he's going to call me a whiskey without even... whatever, okay.
So if
Oh.
you don't like Marvin's name, you can call him Scales. Sometimes I do.
Oh, that seems a bit reductive. I don't call you Flesh.
No, but I got my name Rusty for a reason. He strokes his greying ginger beard. that looks basically like rusty metal.
Oh, it's like rust. My parents just called me Milo because they liked the name.
Is that really your name?
Yeah.
Do you think he talks more or less when he's drunk? Here, please, everyone, cheers.
Let's find out.
Prost.
I'm drinking the first beer now.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least while he's drinking, he's not talking, so...
I always found that lagers are better than pilsners.
Is anyone drinking to get drunk? As Milo mumbles that between gulps.
I might get like a little bit buzzed just for the final night, but
yeah,
not drunk. Got too much to think about.
Yeah, so we see several rounds of drinks pass and some food is gotten. As you see the next 15 or 20 minutes pass by, Milo, you have an early day tomorrow, as the mayor did want to go over some of that, of the your findings about the Silent Straits, as he does in part run a fishing business, and you have quite the selection of fishy books at your disposal back at your rooms.
Gentlemen, Marvinsky, Rusty, it has been a pleasure getting to know you. Honestly, I already covered the sausages and the fried cod. You can finish that off. I have to go for an early morning with the burger. What's it called? Mayor. Sorry, something about fishing books. He wants to have a look at my collection.
Quite elaborate. I do hope that goes well.
Thank you so much.
Right, you have a good night then, Milo.
Make sure to drink some water in between so you don't get a headache. As he gives a bright smile, he nods off and he walks away towards his...
Well, that was fun.
Like a long elevator ride with someone that you thought you would connect with, it was very intriguing, I must say. So, anyways, Rusty, I kind of saw, kind of changed the rap there on that one, but hey, getting to know the locals before you leave is also kind of fun. I don't know, you may have already known him, but
I mean,
do you know where you're headed
out to? He's not a
to?
local. He's seems to be new in town.
Is he?
No,
I don't know. They all seem new to me.
No idea yet. I guess I'll pick one of the roads for the time being and ask some questions on the way and see what I learn. She's she left just before you arrived, so you just missed her. But yeah, I need to go and make sure she's okay wherever she is.
Your fabled sister. Yes, you speak of her quite enough that that one I have not forgotten. I do hope she turns up somewhere and not in a ditch.
As we move on from that rather macabre note, and Rusty goes to explain about his sister, as he corrects Marv, we follow our bespectacled fellow as we loom down dark, empty streets. It's getting close to closing time for most of the stores around. The tavern is going to close soon anyway.
He's walking along humming to himself a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As we go through, we hear a rattle and some disturbing noises far off in the streets.
Something changes for a second in Milo as you see his normal calm demeanor sort of switch as he immediately moves to his weapon, looking ahead with a stern expression.
Yeah. You hear a scrabbling noise, it doesn't sound like a dog or cat as you listen, perking your ears, Milo. The air feels cool. It's a new moon, as you see the clouds overhead don't betray anything, and in the dimness of the night, especially for someone such as Milo, it's hard to make out something, but someone's growing closer, Milo.
Yeah, he extends his sword in front of him and sort of looking, trying to see something as he moves his other hand towards anywhere where maybe a torch is lit so he can grab it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With a strike of light on flint and steel, with it in one hand, the light sparks into motion as you see a blink of green encompass your gaze as you see a little fellow standing not too far besides at the mouth of an alleyway.
Oh, hello?
Don't hurt me, mister. Don't hurt me.
Do I have a reason to?
Would you care to describe this little fellow who's not going to hurt Milo? At least, maybe not just now.
I'm sorry to say what you see is quite a pitiable and somewhat wretched sight. It's a small goblin, about 3.5 to 4 feet tall. He's got forest green skin. From what you can see of his arms, he's got like these dark black tattoos, look like kind of jungle vines coming down his arms. He's wearing a ragged cloak with a hood, and his little green ears are popping out the sides through 2 little cut holes. His feet are clawed and wrapped in tattered rags, and he's got a small wooden walking stick to help him with his limp, which has got dark engravings running down its length. You can see attached to his belt various cooking utensils, like a little pot, a rather vicious cooking knife, a little ladle. Curiously, this stuff is in much better condition than the rest of his gear. It looks like he looks after it. And then under his hood, you can see these 2 almond big red eyes staring up at you, kind of fearful. He's obviously a little bit scared of you.
You're pretty big, mate. That's a big shoe. You must be quite tough to carry that thing.
It's not that heavy. Is something wrong? You seem distressed.
Oh, well, people haven't been too kind to me since I've been here. I've been staying in the woods, but it's dangerous out there at night time. There's weird things walking around. Like big.
Why ever would you stay in the woods? There's perfectly good houses here. Don't you have money for a hotel or something?
Oh no, I don't have a home.
No home?
No.
Do you need a place to stay? I've got a...
His eyes kind of brighten up.
I have a far too big room, honestly. Like, it's mostly stored with books right now. I can make like a little sort of throne for you where you can maybe sleep in. I have some soft books.
Oh, friend. What? You'll be my friend?
I mean, you can stay with me. I don't know if we're friends, but I would love to get to know you, and maybe then we can be friends. Sure. He gives a big smile to you. He puts away his sword and he reaches out his hand. Milo van der Smit.
But my name's Scud. Nice to meet you, Milo.
Scud?
And he takes your hand.
Yeah, Scud.
Interesting name.
Yeah.
Doesn't it mean like a stain or something?
I don't know, maybe it does here, but not where I'm from. Scud Booyarg's my name.
Oh, what does that mean? I'm not familiar with any goblin culture, honestly. I wish I
Booyarg kind of means like magic, you know. Like my gramps, his name was Booyarg, and like he knows a bit. He taught me a little bit here and there.
You have to tell me everything about it as I use my adept linguist background feed, and I'll learn some of his language.
As you try to decipher this strange goblin, Milo, out of the corner of your eye, reflected in his red eyes, you see hues of orange spark into life. As you look up above you, you see smoke and hear a crackling sound rolling through the air. As you look, see buildings begin to plume upwards. Isn't that the direction of that Marvinsky fellow and that Rusty chap that you heard about earlier?
Wait.
As you hear the burning treble, you hear the roar of life, and distantly in the streets you hear, "Fire! Fire!" In this din, you see a small kobold run by, looking towards his junkyard, as we see the flames skip from building to building, lighting up the entire block, as we see Marv's entire store crash down as it falls on top of the junkyard in a giant mushroom-shaped explosion of dust.
I'm so sad.
He's coming to get him off.
Quickly!
What? Fire! Fire!
And I run enough to Milo.
As you guys run down the street, you see 2 guards close with the emblem of the town, a fish upon a frozen lake. As they turn, they, look, as they say, "Hey, you! You're not from round here! Arsonist! There!
But
You thought you could get away from us, you little dark hair! Get over here!" As one of them, plucks Scud into the air.
Hold on. What
Get
are
off,
you doing?
I didn't do nothing! I didn't do nothing, I swear it!
What the fuck are
You
you
will be
doing?
on
The
charges
fire?
too.
Guys,
He's
listen.
not from round here.
That matters not. We need to grab a bucket right now and douse these flames. He can help.
I'll help.
Charge him afterwards, but we need to properly investigate this, you guys. Listen, let's go right now and douse these flames before the whole town burns down. And he starts moving.
You go help. I'll just help this one to a cell, then I'll join you in a few.
I give Scott like a little card. Make sure that they hit me up, okay? I need to go help. That's like a little Professor Myler from the Smith, it says on it.
Bye, friend.
Bye, buddy.
We see Scud yanked off like a kid in either arm as a tiny set of manacles are put on him for the smaller races.
Aww.
As he's dragged off, we see the guard like gesture. He says, "Come on, the fire! Get in the bucket line!" As we see probably a befuddled Marv and Rusty running down the street and probably already
we'd be running at this point.
Yeah, everyone's legging it towards it as we see.
Please don't be my shop. Please don't be my shop. Please don't be my shop. And he kind of turns the corner. It's just like, why now? I will say,
Rusty, you're gonna sell it tomorrow. You see it
It's
burning.
getting paid tomorrow for it.
No. You were just about to retire.
Pinky, you see a rising cloud of
My
flame.
retirement fund.
Yeah, you see a rising cloud of flame. As you look over, you see one of the people come over and look at you, Pinky, as they're like, "At least yours was a junkyard."
He's like on his knees and he's looking down the hill at the junkyard, like, no, my treasures, my treasures.
Oh, didn't that place used to be a rubber mill? Or a dump for it? Well, that fire will probably go out in a few years.
I noticed Pinky with the corner of my eye, and I remember that I left his gem in Marv's shop.
Yeah, as you look over, you all hear an enormous as you hear an explosion, as shrapnel goes flying, you hear men and women screech as bits come raining down all over the town, as several more buildings' roofs begin to catch fire. As they're like, you see several of the people turn away, as they're like, "Fuck the burning buildings, try and put out the smoldering ones!" As they turn away from Marv and Rusty's burned, exploded shop.
it's still standing. And he's thinking to himself about what's in there, and he's like, "Wait, my toy, my cube." He wants to run after this.
My cube!
Everything else I didn't care about. He's like sitting there contemplating, like, buckets, no.
In these smoldering, burning flames, we pan to Scud's eyes, probably looking at the engulfing flames reflected in his dark red, evil, dark air eyes, as we all know, as we fade away to one day later in the smoke and ruin of the town. So we will take our first break here, as we will get back to the ruins of Marv and Rusty's life, along with Pinky. As we return, we see a dank, deep set of dungeons. Positioned in a smaller cell, we see Scud. A cell built for the smaller races. The bars are notably shorter together. And yeah, as you look over them, Scud, you see a set of manacles on the wall with like like bindings to stop spellcasters from using their somatic spells or gesticulating. There's also a like mask with like a binder on it for your face. As if they figure out you're a spellcaster, they're gonna put you in that stuff, aren't they? As you look over the place, you see that there's some cold bowl of porridge and a large jug of water set nearby, but the guards have been pretty tight-lipped as of recent. And yeah, what would Scud be doing in his cell? They seem to take most things of interest, but they've left all of your sticks and bundles or anything that's more tribal on Scud.
Okay, have they taken his walking stick?
Yes, they have, because you could conceivably bonk someone with it.
Well, he'll eat the food and the water straight away. He's actually quite hungry. And then he'll kind of crawl up to the bars and put his little hands around them and look kind of dejected and be like,
Excuse me, guard, misters. What's going to happen to me? I don't understand why I'm here. I haven't done nothing wrong.
The guards on duty charged you with arson, little one. Best
I-
shut up and wait until the mayor hears you. He's gathering the accusers along with the aggrieved up in his house. You'll be judged on the morrow in front of the mayor and the lady.
I haven't even got a tinderbox. I don't know how I'd start a fire.
You might be a caster. Do you want us to put the mask on? We can give it a try.
Scud quickly scuttles back to the back of the cell. It kind of curls up in the corner.
Just hear him laughing. That's what they all do. Well, try and get some rest. Your judgment's tomorrow.
Okay.
Curling up for the night, Scott, is there anything?
Are there any
he does?
windows or anything in the room, or is it just literally the
No,
bar
because you could misty step out of them if you were a caster.
and
which you are.
I can see a drain on the floor there. I mean, there's no way of. It doesn't look like that'll come loose. Can I fit through there?
If you're able to get through to the other side, maybe, but you don't really have anything in hand to bend the bars.
Okay. I guess I'll wait for a little bit, and then when I think the guards aren't paying any attention to me, or hopefully not, anyway, I might crawl over to that drain and see if I can scrape it loose, maybe, and see if there's a way through there.
Use your porridge spoon.
Yeah, I've got my ladle. I don't want to break my ladle. It's my favourite ladle. Oh well, needs must.
Go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check as you try to grind away at the edges of it.
First roll of the campaign. Come on.
Yeah, pushing and pulling away at it. You manage to get one of the very edge of the corner where you can lift it up a first piece, but that takes you about an hour and a half to do that. It's really getting tiring. Maybe in a day or two, hopefully they'll put you back in the cell again once judgment has been done.
Well, it's a start.
Yeah, if you're put back here, you'll definitely be a lot easier to make another roll later. As the night passes on and Scud rests, all hopes on the drain. Yeah, we see a scene of opulence high above as we pan away from the dejected Scud. As we come to the court above. As we come to the mayor's house, we see a resplendent set of hallways, noble-looking figures painted on tapestries on the walls. As we pan upstairs. As we look, we see two figures away from the crusty goblin up to the resplendent gentry of this fine abode. As we see you all in the large foyer, Marv, Rusty, and Milo are seated probably opposite each other with two sets of guards on either side of the staircase. They don't seem to eye any of you, instead focusing ahead of themselves. The accused is yet to be brought, but as you look down, marching between the staircase, you see a very young couple. But Milo, you immediately recognize the mayor, a water genasi of some means, as you see his almost glowing blue eyes. Beside him, his wife, as the Demont family is called. You're guessing they were betrothed. Looking by it, this must be a more feudal town. As in the Republic of Revelo, every town is a bit different in terms of how they're administrated. As he walks down the stairs, he gives you a smile and then looks over the rest of the party. He nods politely to Rusty, being a light air. He purses his lips at Pinky, and then he looks at Marv and just eyes you, Marv, but makes no special gestures or expressions. His wife, on the other hand, curtsies to all of you equally as he looks over each of you. I presume today we have all of the aggrieved and a witness? Milo, I didn't think it would be you.
talk about circumstance by the passions.
By the passions indeed, my lord and my lady. I am glad to introduce you to two of my friends I've made in town who are actually one of the aggrieved parties. This is Rusty and this is Marvinsky of their shops, which have
Gotta
names.
say, if there were chairs set out, Marv would have been pacing back and forth in the foyer before they even came down.
Yeah,
yes,
you see,
Marv,
the guards look at you concernedly, but as long as you don't get near the mayor, they don't do anything.
And I was a witness. Yes, I saw the start of the flames. I'd say.
Would you go into detail about what precisely happened, Milo?
Yes.
And then I'll hear from the others, and then we will bring the accused.
Precisely. Okay. I was walking back from the bar, humming to one of my favorite songs, as I saw something down in the moonlight glistening. It were the eyes of a tiny little goblin man. I made their acquaintance. His name was Scott. He was very kind. I offered him to stay over with me because he didn't have a home apparently, and he was very appreciative of that. And he didn't even have anything like to wear. Well, he had his clothes on, but not that much, you know.
He just nods.
Truly a pitiable dark air.
Yes, it was very sad indeed how he was in that position. Very pitiable indeed. As he sort of seems to talk past the dark air comment. However, the guards have captured him, put him in tiny little wrist cuffs. But I can assure you, my lords, it was not Scud who did the arsoning. If that is a verb, I do not know.
You see, one of the guards, like us, looks over. He's like,
And the aggrieved.
and one of the guards steps forward and clears his throat. This is Light Air, Roderick Copperhelm, and one Pinky.
It's hello.
Just peers down at you disdainfully. And then finally, the new shop owner and the one who has lost the most, Marvinsky, as he is commonly referred.
Well, Rusty sort of glances at Milo for a little bit and says, "Well, you and that goblin seem to get to the buildings pretty quick, like you were just around the corner, and you know, different methods of fire starting can take a little bit of time to take effect. So, you know, one of the guards, Reggie, was telling me that he saw Scud do it, and then he caught him and they put him away. So, you know, just because you saw him around the corner from the buildings doesn't mean that he didn't do it."
We were trying to help out. He graciously accepted it. I also say, Rusty, have you ever made a fire?
Yes, of course I have.
And if you have the kindling and it starts to burning, what happens when you do that? As he's not being like mean. He's like sort of. It seems to remind you of like a teacher, as he's walking through it.
I think he still sees it as a little bit condescending, but
He does, yeah. You probably
Yeah.
would. Yeah. So what happens then? Where there's
spreads.
fire, there's smoke, right?
yeah, but
No.
smoke can be masked in many different ways.
True, it would be very well thought of, but a more likely scenario, as Oxar's razor asks for, is that the more likely solution is probably the right one. And in this case, it was not us who did it.
Yeah, you see one of the guards leans in and whispers to the mayor as he nods, and he goes,
Sorry, Milo, but as much as I'd like one of your lectures, now is not the time to discuss how to start fires. We have aggrieved parties to, hear their side of things.
Of course.
Marv, Pinky, do either of you have anything to add? Like Mr. Copperl?
Well, I would just add that simply because this Scud fellow is a darker does not mean that he should be automatically blamed for this incident.
He nods. Of course, I am here to treat all parties as equal. You would not be here if this house had felt any hard feelings towards the Dark Airs.
Well, your personal lips say otherwise, but I digress. I do appreciate you giving us the time to vent our frustrations. My simple question is to Marvinsky, however. You do have insurance, yes? I was told that Rusty gave you a rather valuable piece of equipment that I had entrusted to him.
His pacing stops a little bit, and he was about to say something to Milo, and he turns his finger towards you. You talking about the paperweight? No, that rock thing?
The exploding paperweight that blew up the rest of your building, Marv.
He only knows.
Rusty, what did you tell him about this paperweight?
Turns back towards Rusty.
see, Demont and his wife just look at Rusty.
What's this about a paperweight?
What's your name? Pinky? Yeah, Pinky came to me with some weird magical gem to try to sell it to me. I took it to Marv's in case he'd want to buy it, and that's all we know about it. Marv thought it was a paperweight because he doesn't know anything about, the arcane stuff, but Pinky obviously wants to be paid for his item that he found.
Yeah, you see Lycus look to his wife now as he becomes slightly more deferential. As you look to the wife, Rusty, you notice she has a ring of the Arcane College on one of her fingers. As you look it up and down, a foremost institution, many rumors, many dark and dangerous rumors about that place. And at least from your time there, it was definitely an interesting place. You're guessing she must have some experience with it. She just nods and she says,
So you are messing with a arcane gem. You probably pilfered it from the junkyard. No, Pinky?
That is correct.
she just nods and looks towards her husband and then looks towards Marv.
I am sorry. I do not think even if you had insurance that it would be applicable. You have taken property of the government, and although the evidence is gone now, if they figure out a gem was caught in this fire, more punishments may come than just arson. It is best to leave it at that.
Oh, yeah. Why are we still talking about gems here? It's clearly a paperweight. No. We still can maybe talk about, insurance in a moment. Please, the paperweight is not involved, I'm sure. It's fine.
You just see Demont Lycus nod.
As my wife has plainly put it, it is best if you probably don't pursue this, Marv. That will be your on your initiative.
He just trying to wash off the awkwardness. He gestures towards one of the guards, and the guard walks over, leans to a door, and says, "Bring him in." Would there be any struggling?
No, I don't want to make the situation worse than it is.
So yeah, you see the guard bring in a little manacled goblin with manacles on arms and legs as they proceed to gesture him in.
He
Right
does
before
limp in, especially without his walking stick. It's
Right before he walks in, I'm going to walk over to Milo and go, I heard you say we couldn't have done this. Are you throwing your hat in with him? Because if he's found guilty, I'm going to hold you accountable too, Milo.
That is perfectly fine. I am, however, not on the stand
Right,
right
I've got
now.
your word for it. And he walks back over.
I wouldn't do
agrees.
this to you, Marvinsky. We drank together.
Just put my assurances together. All right.
Mhm.
As he watches Scud.
With that
approach.
said, Lycus looks at you, Scud. He almost looks like a kid, but everyone seems to be looking towards him. As he looks to you, he plainly seems to gather his resolve as he says,
You and Scud, Booyah, stand accused of arson. How do you plead?
I didn't do it. Why would I want to burn someone's shop down?
I
Yeah,
would
you
like
just
to roll
nod.
insight. Is he lying? You lying between those big red eyes.
Go ahead and make a.
Oh, a whopping 4 for insight.
You
I,
have no clue. He's kind of facing in the wrong direction, maybe, and you can't really get a good look at his face when he says it.
Marvinsky's too high. As in the angle, it doesn't work. The hood is in the
Look
way.
at me when I'm talking to you.
Yeah, we just see Lycus nod, and he says, I will notice that you are saying you are not guilty. Should you be found guilty, your crimes will be held in a worse light, just so you know.
Okay, I didn't do it.
Yeah, he looks over, like he says, what did you see, Mr. Scud? He like kind of frowns, like, is that your real name?
Yeah, Scud Booyark. I'm not from here. I'm from Laplace. Like I come from the jungles, but I can't live there anymore. So I don't really have a home now. I was living out in the woods, but there's stuff out there at night time. It's not safe, so I've had to come into the town when it gets dark. And that's why I was just trying to find somewhere where I could sleep.
You should have been an upstanding citizen and merely rented somewhere to stay.
I haven't got no money.
Unfortunately, you are in this predicament due to your lack of productiveness.
I could cook. I don't mind working for like a room or like somewhere. Like, I like to cook, and
This is a hearing for punishment, not for job applications for my abode.
Objection, Your Honor.
Yes.
I would say Scott has not been laying on his or sitting on his hands at all, as we like to say. He actually offered to help me. I was going to offer him a place to stay, and then he was going to help me with dousing the fire, but the guards took him in because they found him suspicious for being not from here. Which is, of course, strange. I am also not from here.
I thought you humies like believed in like law and justice and things like that. And you just judge me because I'm a goblin and I'm a dark hair. But it doesn't seem right.
I suggest something.
Yeah, you see them all look at you, kind of like slightly startled that you've spoken up, Pinky.
Perhaps proceedings such as these should start with the accused recounting the tale of what he's done today.
That is where I was trying to head with this before he tried to turn it into a job application. Mr. Scud, could you proceed with what happened from your perspective, leading up to you meeting with Milo?
Well, like I say, I've been staying in the woods outside of town, and but like I say, it's not safe out there at night. I don't know if you guys know, but there's some bloody weird creatures out there. They smell real bad and kind of big. Kind of look a little bit like that fella there, and he points at Marvinsky. but like bigger. Well, some of them are bigger. But yeah, so
anyone with proficiency in nature or Rusty, you can make this roll automatically since you've been in town for a few years, at the very least. Yeah, Pinky, how long have you been here? How many years?
Oh,
has Pinky
probably
been
only
here?
a few months.
Okay, then you probably wouldn't have the chance. Otherwise, everyone with proficiency in nature can roll. Otherwise, Rusty can roll. Yeah, I don't think those rumors have reached Rusty, unfortunately, with an 8.
Superb rolls, guys.
All of them pretty good so far.
Can I make an argument for history?
Yeah, I'll give you history, but with disadvantage. This
Sure.
would be more of the rumor mill.
A 3.
Natural one.
Yeah, we see that you're only familiar with the ancient history of this town, not the recent.
I don't have any books on the recent going on. That's that's all tabloid stuff.
There have been spottings of things, yes, but then you came to town after you saw these strange creatures and fled the forest.
yeah, and I was just really trying to find like a nice warm doorway to curl up in. I didn't want to cause no trouble, and then And then that's when this big fella with a shield come round the corner. I thought he was going to hurt me or move me on, because that's what normally happens, like. And but he didn't. He was real friendly, like. I liked him. He's my friend now. And then there was the fire, and then we went running towards the fire, like Mr. Milo said, and I was going to help and that, and then the guard grabbed me and took my stuff, and now I'm here.
Well, clearly, okay, I'm not completely absolving you. I'm just saying, if it wasn't you, who else could it have been? The fact that my shop is burned down and we have one person to point the finger to is, to me, even baffling. What are your guards doing out there? They not see anybody.
This is a matter of course. Most of them are busy putting out fires. There is a raging rubber fire in the junkyard. Who knew rubber could burn for that long? But apparently there is going to be a bonfire in town for 2 months or so.
Oh, it can actually burn for 3 years, Your Honor.
Thank you, Milo.
You're welcome.
He just puts a hand on his forehead. The guards are quite busy attending to wounded, and thankfully no one has died. But as such, I am quite conflicted. I think more investigation needs to be done, and as mayor, I am putting a stay of punishment on you, Mr. Booyah.
I'll help investigate. I want to clear my name.
Precisely. As such, we have had an arsonist some months prior. I'm sure some of you have heard. A smuggling ring that set fire to their own shipment. This may be linked, although maybe not. As such, with conflicting evidence, and Milo is known not to be a liar and has been in my court for some while, Milo, I presume I can leave this scud in your care.
I would be honored so, Your Honor.
Yes,
Might I
if you
also...
wish to get to the bottom of this and seek recompense, help Scud and Milo find the source of this tragedy. I have many things to discuss in town. If you should be able to find an arsonist other than Scud, this court will be able to award you all a reward, as at least a small recompense for the burning of your homes and buildings.
That's hand shoots up.
Mr. Important Mayor, sir, if I am innocent, will I get any compensation for this wrongful accusal?
Yes, the reward will go to even you, should you find the true culprit.
Oh, you're a very, very good mayor, sir. Very good mayor.
We will conduct our own investigation in the meantime to make sure yours goes properly.
I raise my hand.
Until this time, we will adjourn this session. We shall meet back in a week henceforth. If Scud is to abscond at any point during this proceeding, I shall write out 1,000 gold reward for him dead or alive and send it out to all towns nearby. That is my ruling. May the passions bless you all. Good day. I have a lot of aggrieved parties to meet with today.
At the sound of 1,000 gold bounty, Marv purses a smile a little bit.
Maybe we should let him go.
They're gonna kill me and just claim the reward.
Don't find her on.
My account, he disappeared in the night.
Well, gentlemen, this is certainly exciting. I think, as he sort of rubs his temple, I think I have a book about this kind of thing that might help us for a second. Let me grab it real quick. Scott, you want to join me?
Yeah, all right, Mr. Milo.
Bless
I'll
you.
run over to Milo.
It'd only be
Why don't you
5
tell us
minutes,
all
you guys.
about it? And as soon as he turns, to look down his books, I've started walking away. I'm walking towards my shop to see what remains of it and what I can.
Just wait downstairs for us.
Salvage
We'll be right there. As he rushes up the stairs. Come,
Yeah,
Scott.
I'm
Let
heading
them know
to
where
my
we're
shop.
going. I'm gonna go run behind Rusty. I can't believe I wouldn't want the guards to be doing this investigation, but I can't believe they put the first suspect involved in this on the research team to figure out who did. He's ranting to Rusty while he's right behind him, going towards because our shops are nearby,
Yeah,
so he's just
and
going in the same direction.
He still failed to tell us what he was doing 20-30 minutes before the fire was seen. I mean, what was he saying? Oh, I came into town And then what? We're trying to find out.
I was trying to find somewhere to sleep. I did say. I said I was trying to find
Oh, shit,
somewhere to
he's
sleep.
there.
Are you,
I thought we were ahead.
He's following
Are
us.
you chasing us down? Okay.
like, you got beard in your ears or something? What?
To your aid, Marvel said he was like trying to sleep, but God, how could you sleep this long? Come on, there's a fire going on. Anyways.
Yeah, is there anything you do up in Milo's bedroom, Milo and Scud, or is it just to grab that book?
I'm just grabbing a book on the investigation of fire outbreaking.
Yeah, of course. You have a book on that.
I could swear
Idiot's Guide to Awesome Solving.
It's Jonathan von Fires or something. It is something like that. I found it. Okay, it's good. Let's go.
Okay.
We might be able to catch up.
We've
I
left
limp
Pinky
along
behind,
after Milo.
possibly.
Yeah, where's Pinky at right now?
It's probably following very close behind Rusty and Marvinsky, a few paces back, listening to them talk and clearly being annoyed at them wanting to blame Scud for this so quickly when they have absolutely no reason to.
You're on the opposite side.
One of my friends in the guard told me he did it. So.
I'm just mad that they put the one guy we suspect on the research team. That's ridiculous. Anyways.
Now, Scud,
Well,
I think
at least we can keep an eye on him in case he, tries to scamper away.
As we see everyone move down the streets towards the smoldering remains of the town, it is a sight indeed. You see the skeletal frames of a once marvelous shop, Marvinsky, and the old sagging frame, now burnt up and rickety like an old man, Rusty, of finders keepers. Looking behind, you all see boiling set of smoke come roiling up from behind your stores, like it's the mouth to hell, which is now Pinky's home, or the rubber fire.
I had quite a few things that will never be. I'll never be able to replace them. Not a single thing. You don't understand.
I'm sure you can find more trash elsewhere, little one. But
Oh, I'm sure there's trash everywhere, but
I mean,
it was
he
my
just
home.
gestures towards his pile of newly found trash.
Newly created
His
trash.
former store. And yeah, I'm gonna get find a piece of wood or a stick or something, start poking through, see if there's anything salvageable whatsoever.
I'll walk up to Pinky and say, "Don't cry, little dragon," and I'll press to digitate a little flower and go, "Have this," and I'll pass it to him.
It's a pretty little flower.
It's not-
Does it
it's
have
not-
any?
No, it's not real, and then it disappears.
I feel oddly worse. But thank you, Scud. I
Disappears just
do
like your
appreciate
Scud
the
pile.
sentiment.
Scud starts looking for a real flower now. He's walking around.
while you're
Like
looking for the
Rusty.
flower, Scud, maybe you can find the place where the fire has burned the brightest. This is usually where it's started.
I don't think I should be the one because people will accuse me of planting evidence. I think.
Oh, that could be true. Let's see.
Yeah, you see several people going through not as badly burned buildings, like using lumber, and some burned people with fresh bandages scowling pretty heavily at Scud.
I'll move closer to Milo.
Oh, Pinky, I guess you're someone who lost a lot of garbage in the fire, so it would be
Garbage.
relatively. Yeah, I think it would be good for you to look around. Could you check to see if you can find maybe where the fire started? That'll give us a clue as to what the purpose was of this burning.
Certainly. However, it was not garbage, it was treasure.
As I turn around and I'll try and investigate and find the spot where it was burning brightest.
Either Pinky can roll or Rusty. I believe both of you said you were searching. You can either aid each other or roll individually, as I believe you both have proficiency.
Well, I'm currently not looking for the cause or anything like that. I'm just currently looking through my pile to see if there's anything.
Marv is looking through his, so he'll assist Pinky.
I'll roll for that.
So you guys are looking for anything valuable, just to be clear? rather than.
Yeah, just anything that survived the fire that I can.
Sure, Rusty make a roll for anything valuable in your
19.
store left over, and Marv, you make one for your store.
I'm looking specifically for my desk. That toy again, just for fun. That's the only thing I think. Oh,
Okay.
I know,
Yeah, we just see Marv being like, no. So we just find like completely like we find all those cheap swords just like all melted together from the heat of the fire.
It's like a Game of Thrones chair.
Yeah, Rusty. On the other hand, you find a glimmer of glass, a smashed pile of a small collection of potions you had, valuable indeed. As you look over, you see a greater healing potion. Much of it is boiled away, but what remains is enough for a regular healing potion. As you pick up, you remember getting this from a traveling cleric. So as you find irregular healing potions worth of potion remaining, most of the rest is evaporated from the heat. But there's enough that it might be at least useful.
Rusty
Nice.
rolled a clean
I will
19 and Marv rolled a
mag
poor
that.
7.
Yeah, everything's destroyed for Marv's store. Yeah, go ahead, Pinky. Can you make me the roll as
He's looking
you
for
begin
the
to
source of the
investigate?
flame.
Yeah, as you look for the source, whereas they're looking for valuables.
Just before he starts searching, Scud will walk over to Pinky and say, lay a hand on his shoulder and whisper a prayer to the passions and give Pinky guidance.
Ooh.
What
Yeah,
could
so
he
an extra
possibly be
D4.
whispering in his ear?
They're both
Are you helping me
J-
with this
They're
as
probably
well?
accomplices.
Just as you see Scud's eyes quickly flashed like a blue color, from red to blue just for a split second as he says the prayer.
Oh, what an odd sensation. Ah,
Yeah, maybe
Will
you just
you be
saw
helping me
something,
with the roll?
Pinky.
The roll?
Do you have proficiency? You need proficiency to aid in my games. Just
I
for the
don't
audience's
have
sake.
I don't have proficiency in investigation.
Well,
So just
here
a
goes.
just a D4, Pinky, because the others are busy searching.
Oh, that's too bad. That's a 9 plus a 3,
You got a
so
9.
12.
So that brings up to a 12. Although you don't find any additional stuff, as you finish pressing through Marv's store, a ways away, you hear Marv crying over some destroyed
Ashes.
Yeah, as he's picking up flimsy ashes. You find a corpse, Pinky, charred to cinder. Yeah, Rusty and Marv, you don't recall there being a body in Marv's store.
I don't sell bodies. This is not a crypt.
did you have a wife?
Someone was in there when Scott burnt it down?
Oh, someday in the long distance days, I did have a wife. But no, not at all. Kidding me? What is this? Is this even a male?
There's a body here.
Yes. Wait, how the hell did this body get here?
It's a booty? Oh no.
Yes, a booty.
No, the
That's-
booty's
that's-
gone. It's
that's-
clearly char there.
Not the
but-
booty.
That is horrible. Can you tell who it was, maybe? Is there anything to be done?
Maybe it was the bugger who did it, like, and when that weird gemmy thing blew up, it got him. Case solved. I'm innocent.
Was this at the center
the
of the fire, to clarify?
This
well?
was very close by. As you continue looking for the source, you find the burnt, corroded mass of the gem, Pinky. As you pick it up, looking over it, there's no fresh marks. It seems like a discharge, but you remember the explosion earlier. It happened after the fire started, so it should have discharged. There should have been an immediate explosion, unlike halfway through the fire. As you think it over,
What's the state of the body? Is all of the flesh burnt off, or is there any recognizable features whatsoever?
It is charred bad enough that no clothes remain. Can anyone who's proficient make me a medicine roll? That or whoever is going to be leading the medicine check. I don't think anyone's
I just
proficient.
I don't think anyone's got
kicked the
medicine.
body.
Really?
Nope.
I thought.
Yeah.
I thought
So
the
who's
cleric-
gonna lead the medicine roll? I presume Rusty, as he is.
I got a
probably- or
+1.
Pinky. Yeah.
Same.
I'll do it.
And
That's
wise.
true, why not?
Clerics, not
16.
Yeah.
Oh, 16.
Leaning down to
Not bad.
inspect it, you recognize this shape, Rusty. You've seen this creature before. It is not a human. it is like Scud mentioned earlier, referenced. Kind of almost looks like Marv, but some people would be mistaken between lizard folk and troglodytes as you peer over the corpse. As you look down at the corpse, you also see an oddity. It is missing a foot. Like, it's missing its left foot. This appears to have occurred before the fire. It doesn't appear to have been singed off as you peer over it. Looking close by, you see that it must have died in the fire as you peer about.
This fella really put his foot in it. Sorry.
I'm going to place him back down after telling everyone around me that, and then I'm gonna look around. Are there any guards standing nearby that I know would have been possibly in this area when it happened?
Yes, as you move by, you see a familiar looking guard standing nearby, named Clement.
Hey, Clemmy, did you last night see any troglodyte looking fucker around here?
No,
Or anyone that was maybe like skulking around these premises that looked, slightly scaly or whatever, not like Marv, but...
Yeah, you see him walk forward and wipe some of the soot off his face. He says, "Sorry, Scud, I've been lifting burnt shit all night and helping, the wailing widows. Yeah, we've had some reports after the fact. Some people were, some strange rumors and such. A stalker, a window peeper, but we just presume it was him," and points at Scud in the head, probably a couple feet.
What can you tell me about this window peeper? What were the reports of that person? Someone looking through all the windows.
Mm-hmm. You see him pause, and he's he says, "Really shouldn't say this. It's just gonna add more rumors."
I mean, we're here at the order of the mayor to get to the bottom of this, so it's not really a rumor. It'd be helping us solve the case, if anything.
He just sighs and says, Fine. Apparently, something big was going through the alleys. Some people thought it was Marv moving about. Kind of looked like him, but I know that Marv wasn't there at the time, so we just imagined it was something else they were seeing. Couldn't be... It was too big to be the little squirt that started it.
Who was the first person to report seeing this individual?
Old woman, the old woman, Galinda. She spotted something through the window in one of the alleys, creeping around at the back of the store. She presumed that it was Marv locking up.
Yeah, it's a good place to start. Perhaps we should go there now.
What is her name?
I'll just say to the guard...
He said Galinda, I think he said.
Galinda. I'll tell the guard, just so you guys know, we did find a body that might match that individual. I don't know if you want to get someone to dispose of it.
Yeah, you see him step over because it's blackened and chars. It kind of blends in as he goes, "Oh, by the passions. Yeah, I'll get a priest and some stretchers."
Rusty, my memory fades me. Who was the known arsonist that they were talking about back with the Lord and the Lady?
Oh, there was rumor. It was just a little bit before you got into town. It was some smuggling ring or something that they set fire to their supplies or their shipment. I mean,
we just know there's a ring of arsonists in the area. Don't know a name or nothing. Okay.
I mean, it doesn't mean they're connected, but
I know it was just something they recommended. We also look.
It's a very common go-to, method of destruction for people that have whatever reasons.
We should also not exclude the possibility that the reason the fire was started is to obscure the evidence of the troglodytes.
But why my shop, of all places?
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really care about what the reasons are. I'm just looking for my recompense before I head out of town. So,
completely understandable, but can we at least agree that Scud is not is probably not the perpetrator here?
There's a possibility that it's not Scud. That is correct.
Just like I've been saying all along. If you people just listen to me, we'll might get to the bottom of this quicker.
I've got a bit of an idea. Marvinsky, does it look like there is quite a bit of stuff missing from your store? I mean, I know it's charred and blackened, but...
You beat me to it. If you mean missing by ashes and destroyed beyond recognition, yes. But I mean, I could take a look around for anything that I knew was valuable that I could see is still here, charred. I mean, I guess you can just try and go back and like look for something that was specifically would be obviously if it melted down, it would be here, like a large shield. If that's not there, it would still leave at least a pretty big mound. So.
Yeah, so Mar begins to skirt off, pushing through the ruins with his plank. Go ahead and make me an investigation roll with advantage, Marv. Well, he does this. Rusty, this is not unheard of. There was troglodytes in the hills some 10 years back, from what you recollect. They went quiet, though, 10 years ago. They were causing trouble for a couple of years, then you presume someone cleared them out, but maybe they didn't.
I'm gonna go find Glinda and get her report for myself.
21 investigation.
Yeah, pressing through the ruins while we see Rusty move on to like a neighbor's house opposite the street. We see it has a pretty good view into the alleyway that Milo and Scud were in. Also, it has a good view of the back of Marv's store, some like 100 feet away. As you come in up onto it, Rusty, passively you notice some strange marks under a layer of thin soot across the ground. Yeah, you see a set of tracks on the ground. You might not be the best to look at them, but something in the alleyway under a layer of soot probably made these last night in a patch of soil that frequently drains around this area, creating like a little bit of mud that's nearly constantly wet.
Hey, Marv! Come have a look at this.
Inventorying my dust and dirt and ash, but sure, yeah, okay. He'll trample over.
Well, I found more
table.
soot over here.
This looks like dirt to me. He'll lean over to it. What you got?
It is dirt.
Is it?
Go ahead and make me a
Looks like
survival
trustees,
roll,
sounds
Marv.
A whopping 8.
Peering down at them, the prints are bigger than a normal humanoid, but you're not able to deduce much else. You're not really sure what you're looking at.
This is clearly a 2x4 drug on the side.
Would they match the remaining foot of the troglodyte body we found?
Oh, if you think of the troglodyte, I could just bring his foot over. Isn't it torn off or something?
It's charred pretty badly. You could probably break his leg off with ease.
The guards are probably tending to it.
But he only had 1 foot. If you just look at the tracks, Pat, you can notice that there's only 1 foot in the tracks.
As you look, Marv, now that he mentions it, you see there are marks only of 1 foot.
It was hopping?
It was hobbling. You see beside it, there's like a little mark, like they were walking either on a peg leg or a cane. You're not sure which. It could be either.
A peg leg could have burnt in the fire.
I will attempt to follow these tracks and see where they lead me.
They start leading you northwards. Not too far off, a couple 100 feet down the way, leads to the plains. There's not much of a wall, as there hasn't been much trouble in town, and well, you're in the center of Casting Dam. There are creatures up in the mountains and hills, but many of them wouldn't dare attack a town so brazenly. But it seems to lead off towards the northern hills as you look, Rusty, following these for several 100 feet until like they seem to blend with the dirt leading northwards. Sorry, westwards.
Westwards out of town, okay.
Yeah, let me bring up the map for a sec.
I'll head back and reconvene with the others. Let them know what I saw.
Yeah, so you guys are here. They lead the tracks lead off west along the road, and then presumably they would go south if they're those troglodytes.
Oh, look at that big, beautiful map.
They would go west and then south, presumably, as best as you would know.
What would I know about troglodytes? Are they very like obviously they're how intelligent of creatures are they?
Make a nature roll, as you consider this, Rusty.
Smarter than a fork, but dumber than a bird.
They're not the smartest of creatures, but that doesn't mean they're not dangerous or cunning in any sort of way. They have their own language and they can read and write, and some of them have been known to be casters, from what you know. So it's not inconceivable that they might make a plot. They just might not come to that plot very quickly.
Smart enough to make a fire, but dumb enough to kill themselves in it.
Exactly.
Did you bring any enemies into town?
Why would they make a fire then?
Marv, did you have any enemies following into town or anything like that? Any reason that someone would want to burn down your shop in particular?
Oh, maybe they just don't like Marv.
As you got to respond, nothing has been stolen. Nothing.
In my little inventory check, I couldn't find anything missing.
Nothing valuable. This is very weird. It was not an attempt to steal.
When you ask him though, if anyone who would want to steal from him, his eyes glaze over as he's like quickly darting back and forth of like different people he's trying to remember.
People he's fucked over.
Ultimately says, "Oh no, no one that I could think of that would want to do this." This is
insight check.
Yes, please.
Natural one. I still beat you with a plus one.
Oddly, your natural one with your modifier of 1 puts it to 2. However, I rolled.
You rolled a 2 with a modifier of -1.
Yeah. So
what's going on?
No. I love this. As everyone like turns to look at each other, a gust of that foul wind from the rubber fire hits all of the taller players. And like everyone begins gagging and coughing, but Scud and Pinky both see that it's very clear to see that Marv definitely has some enemies in his past.
Scud's
It
eyes
wouldn't
narrow.
matter anything, but he'd just be like, "Ooh, poor Granny. Oh, that guy at the butcher shop, Jesus," and he just thinks of just different people he's come across in a bad way. But oddly, no way you would. How the fuck do you know when you're rolling that one? But yeah, so there's some people he's fucked over here, but nothing that he could think that would do this specifically. So
not the best liar, are you?
Great.
No, not when your tar area filled smoke runs over. Very saddening to think about. Oh, your
What are you all talking about? Are we not investigating this burning? You're talking about.
It's clear that there's a troglodyte in his establishment.
And
the troglodyte leading west.
Yeah.
Nothing's been taken from his store, so evidently it was personal.
Yeah.
It was personal.
It could be personal.
And poor Scott almost had to get punished for it. Okay.
I'm still not ruling Scott out fully, but it's getting less and less likely. That's.
I mean, if it was directly personal, why would it have?
Well,
they could have made it to where it didn't affect also Rusty's shop.
I mean,
and
it
also
could have been some hooligan
Pinky's.
that just set fire to a piece of trash, threw it through your window, and walked away, and then got caught around the corner 20 minutes later because he's a goblin. Could have been anything.
Well, mate, let's go speak to this Galinda lady. Like, maybe she saw him, like, breaking in or something, like the guard said.
That is a
fair
wonderful idea, Scott.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Talking to a witness that would incriminate Scott if she had seen anything. So
yeah, you know her, Rusty. Old widower, lives opposite you. She's a dwarf, ancient, maybe like 300 in years. She regularly baked you pies, you and your sister, every now and again.
Lovely old lady. As I approached, because I probably care about this lady to an extent, I just check out, does she have any fire damage on her property?
Some small burns, but the fire on her house was relatively contained compared to some of the other peripheral damage.
Alright, I'll give her a knock on the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see the door open as she comes outside. Oh my! Copper, you're okay.
Yes, Glenda, thank you.
You want any pie? I know a fire can be traumatic.
No, not today. Thank you, Glenda. It's fine. How are you doing? I noticed that your house caught a bit of flames there too. Everything
Oh,
all right with you?
horrible charring! Not unlike my husband to bring back embers from the fire.
Right. So we heard.
He was a saint. The passions would be proud. May his soul be reincarnated into the bravest of light airs.
So you tell us every time we meet. It's lovely to see you again. I heard that you saw someone skulking around last night.
They were skulking indeed. I saw them harboring around and moving from trash can to trash can. They stopped there and squatted down, and they were like a terrible Mara, a demon or devil, sitting between the trash there. You were just inspecting it a minute ago. Did they leave anything terrible?
Oh, we might have found some tracks. Did it look like it walked with a bit of a hobble or a limp or something like that?
Yes, they did walk quite strangely. I thought it was Marvinsky, but then when I saw them darting about and I heard about the fire, I knew it was bad. But the guards didn't believe me. Just because I'm a dark air.
She like shakes her head and like tuts like old women can.
I know how you feel, Miss Galinda. Did it look like me?
No, it didn't.
And I look accusingly at Rusty.
About a foot and a half taller than you. Like I said, at first I thought it was Marv, but then it was too short. But then I suspected someone else, but it couldn't possibly be you, my handsome little fellow.
And she like pats you on the head. Scud.
I smile.
Do you want any pie?
Oh, I'd love some pie, thanks.
I'll get some of my leftovers out of the pot.
Scud's red eyes open wider. You see his like sharp, crooked teeth as he licks his lips.
Is this by any chance the famous dwarven dish speech cobbler?
Oh, this is peach cobbler with speckles of stone, they call it.
Oh, the stone do bless us today. Thank you so much, Galinda.
The secret ingredient of the stone is salt.
I've heard that, yes.
I had some of it out of her garbage. It's actually quite good.
Oh, you rambunctious little recycler, you.
It was Pinky. Gone from trash can to trash can.
I'm sorry to distract from your wonderful cooking. Did one of the figures, because you know my shop does burn down, I need to get all of these details. Did one of the figures have a what is the thing called on the foot when it's a piece of wood?
I was going to bake you your grand opening pie. We can have that, I suppose.
Oh,
She takes out a pie. She takes out a pie with a little handwritten flag on it and says, "Happy grand opening."
Aww.
And gives you the pie.
It's wonderful.
I hope that's a consolation.
The spoils of my hard labor, yes. Thank you.
No crocodile tears.
Scud hobbles up to Barvinsky and just looks up at him like expectantly.
Takes the flag out and drops the.
He's hungry.
Lower down. If he's holding in his hand like this, how does he grab it out from his hands?
Oh, no.
He lowers it down to you.
Just
A voracious appetite, oh my.
Still growing.
Leave the tin. It'll mess up your guts if you eat the red metal. Anyways, the peg leg, madam, search your recollection, because we have a gentleman there resting in my tavern right now who happened to have a peg leg. I don't know if. Really
yes, they did have a weird hobble about them.
Okay. Both of them or just one? Maybe both culprits have.
There might have been more, but I only saw the one with the weird walk.
Okay.
Where are you getting multiple from?
Yeah, because she kept saying they.
There could have been more, but my eyes aren't as good as they used to be.
I thank you for your help, and thank you for the pie, as he gives a big grin.
Hopefully they'll open a homeless shelter for you and Rusty.
Galinda.
As I've told you, every week for the last 2 weeks now.
Oh!
I'm heading out of town, but
By the passions, yes, your sister. Oh my, tell her that she's free to come by and get any pie she wants if you find her again.
Tell you what. Tell you what, as I'm heading out tomorrow morning, why don't you bake us a couple to go, and when I bump into her, I'll give one to her from you. And
of course, I'll write
pass
down
on
my
your best wishes.
recipe too. Here, my little dearies.
And she takes out of her pocket inexplicable hard candy and gives one to each of you. It's as nearly as old as she is, probably.
Does she have any pickles?
Oh god.
No, we're not starting.
As we're walking away from her, I say to Marv, yeah, we used to stay at her house sometimes, and she had this biscuit tin. I always go to try and get a biscuit from, but it was always just random sewing needles and a sewing kit. And
by the passions, as Milo runs after you guys, licking his plate and putting it down. Thank you so much, Galinda. That was lovely. You guys have a knack of walking away without announcing it.
Busy people, lots of shops. Really trying to.
Lots of shops, not anymore. But I think our journey takes us down south now. I think we should maybe inform the guards, since Scott has been proving to be very helpful indeed, and I would like to take him down south to investigate wherever these troglodytes, or whatever you call them, come from.
Do you think they'll get my stuff back now, Milo, like my pots and pans?
Oh, certainly. If it is to any purpose to you.
Yeah, I like to cook.
I believe the mayor said that we see him in a week, but I'm sure we can make some kind of arrangement if we're trekking out. Do you guys agree with this notion of traveling out and finding the source of this, undoing of your shops?
Evidently, it seems to be the only course.
I don't think there's anything else left to learn in this place. With the search the remains, spoken to witnesses, we've got a lead. Let's follow it.
Do you know anyone with one of those newfound abilities of the collection of investigation of the recently deceased? I believe if I read about it, there was a spell someone figured out not too long ago that allows one to go into the memories of one recently deceased if you are in the possession of their cranium.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a will for a second.
There might be a one of the priests in town might know something about that, but that's nothing I've ever studied.
Is there a priest of the passions in town that of some strength? Maybe the passion of death?
There's a passion of there's a priest of the passions of finality that generally deals with funerals and
I think the guard was calling on a priest to help with the removal of the remains anyway, wasn't he? So.
Yeah, they're doing their own investigation too, so they're going to corroborate your story.
Maybe we should have a talk with them first, get some of Scott's stuff, and see if they have that incantation available to them.
It's a good idea, however, from what I've heard, it's a rather high level of arcane ability.
Well, the priests of this region are generally strong casters, I believe.
No harm in asking.
Exactly that.
As you guys wait a while, I think about half an hour passes as we probably see Rusty and Marv conclude that there's nothing else of value left, and all they're left with now is the smoldering memories of their past as they peer down at their stores, and the energetic burning of Pinky's past as we see his home on fire still. As I ain't gonna go out for a while. On that murky and sad note, we see a priest appear, followed by two guards as she approaches. As she does so, I think we will take our final and long break here. As we end our break.
As Rusty and Marv walk away again into the southwestern direction.
Again? I'm just gonna leave them at this point. Like, okay then,
As we
jerks.
As we gather with you all in the smoldering ruins of Rusty, Marv, and Pinky's life, we see Milo having the hands of Scud's life in, well, in his gaze. As we see this happen, we see several people clear out of the way and like make gestures to the passions. Several people hold holy symbols. As you look, you see the crowd part and a raven-haired woman with a gleaming ornamental breastplate. You see a symbol of an emblem coded across it of the passions, the passion of finality, a reaper holding what seems to be a man in one hand and a woman in the other, and guiding them towards the sunset. As she presses forward, she seems to move through the ruins. She doesn't seem to care for her cape as her dusty eyes scan across you. She seems to have grey eyes, marking her as at least the hue is more of a dusk hair color, as best you can guess. She like nods to each of you and like takes a knee towards the troglodyte's corpse and begins muttering a few words of prayer.
What is she gonna do, Matt?
I'll
Mello?
pull up alongside her and just like wait for her to finish her initial prayer.
Yeah, I'll walk up to her as well and wait, folding my hands, sort of like simulated prayer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as she finishes her prayer, she like stands to face all of you.
Greetings by the passions. It is a pleasure to meet all of you. I presume that these were your homes. They may have met their end, but I'm sure something will be built stronger here in the future by the will of the passions.
Yes, thank you for coming by, my lady. My acquaintance Milo here has a theory on how we could possibly help solve this case. Milo, what were you saying? What was this incantation?
Thank you, Rusty.
You were hoping
Yes, I had read some schools, I believe, of the clerics of finality, like one such as you, study the means, a newly acquired means of using the cranium of a deceased person to translocate stories that were held within, final thoughts and the like. Is this
You
something?
wish for me to speak with the corpse.
If this is possible, it could hold valuable information as to why this horrendous atrocity was, committed. They were a victim as well, as far as we can tell.
She nods. Although they do not appear to be any race that I recognize, I could attempt this. It will be quite tiring. I perhaps may only be able to do it once, with the divine mana imbued to me.
Understandable. What are the limitations to this? As he starts noting it down, I do not know much about it, but what are the limitations of this?
You may only question them a certain amount of times. They must speak the language, and they must be cooperative. Even in death, the dead sometimes wish for peace.
Mr. Milo, you know a lot of really big words. Like, what does cranium mean?
It's another word for head.
Why not just say head then?
Because I can also say cranium.
Alright.
It's like your name, Scud. It can be different things.
During this, Amia like takes a knee and like you see some of the rising dust around her like pause as you see a glow begin to emanate from the body. You see her lean down and like put her ear to the corpse, and she says, "Who were you?" She like pauses, listening, as none of you hear anything, and she shakes her head and stands. This creature does not speak any language known to me.
Could I try?
What does it sound like? What's it sound like? Can you
No.
say any words?
I've seen wizards from the Arcane College use this spell before of the Third Order, but it only works with the speaker.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
So he would need comprehend languages or something.
Does any of you know any magic like that?
Not like that, no.
Unfortunately,
She's using Speak with Dead.
my
Unfortunately,
skills.
the corpse in question does not speak any languages that she understands. So it does not speak Iron Speech, which is common in this world, Dragon Tongue, or probably Dwarven, which are the three most common.
What would be a language that I would speak then? Possibly, of the languages I know.
Make a nature roll.
Well, we might as well start following those tracks out of town then.
Rusty,
Six.
you can make a nature roll at advantage because you've had the places had some rumors.
14.
Yeah, they speak their own language, troglodyte.
That's what I figured. They're quite monstrous creatures, so.
Perhaps if we can find more of its kin, I can maybe transpose some key elements of the language, and I can tell you. What is your name? Excuse me, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Milo von der.
I am Amia from the Temple of the Passions. I intern the dead and guide those who are dying to a peaceful grave.
Yeah, that's a respectable job right there.
She just
out of
nods.
nowhere.
All jobs are respectable in their own manner. Everyone is valid. But let's talk to the troglodytes. They might be able to help us. If we can figure out what language they speak, I might be able to divulge some kind of cipher to help Emia talk to the being.
Not as a learned man as you are, I just don't see these things, gesturing to the dead troglodyte, being peaceful. One, or me being peaceful when we meet them shortly. Just saying.
Should we maybe try to solve it peacefully? And if they do not wish to talk, we can always, and he sort of clicks his sword up, use different means. I am not only a studier, I have not only studied languages and peoples, I've also studied their fighting techniques. I can be a very helpful person in this, quest, if you will.
That's the first interesting thing you said to me all day. Yes, let's do that.
I knew I could
leave
get
it
you at
this
some
way.
point. As he gives you a big smile.
No.
Scott, do your pants, do they help you in any way to protect yourself? I do not wish to present you in a dangerous situation, if it does turn out to be one.
Oh, it's alright. I'm pretty good at hiding and stuff. But what the patterns are like more of like sentimental value.
Then we must certainly get them back as soon as we can.
And my stick helps me walk, so I kind of need that.
As you're about to turn to leave, Milo, with the rest to follow the tracks out of town, Amia reaches out and grabs your upper arm on your left arm.
He turns to her.
You have a great spectre of the passions following you. You will bring the finality of many in the coming days.
Milo looks worried.
Yeah, she looks down towards your arm.
Looks towards the mark you keep hidden from the others.
He scratches his arm. Thank you.
She just lets you go like that.
Right, let's go see the guards as soon as we can. We need to inform them that we are leaving. And he sort of hurries off.
Yeah. Milo looks slightly shook as you all move away from the ruins of the stores and home. As you begin to make your way slowly out of town, you see the farms become sparse and the road becomes wider, paved with blocks that lead out into the distance. You see the large hills and mountains in the distance. Just to the north of the Dragon Empire, the hum and chirp of birds, and the tall grass sways, and the sea winds which blow in from the north as you begin to move northwards upon your trail.
Do we inform the guards first that we're leaving? Are they okay with us leaving?
Yeah, we see a quick check with the guards. They nod because they're going to put up a bounty if he doesn't return.
Yeah, and
Within the week.
do they give me my gear back as well, or at least some of it?
Yes, they will hand over Scud's gear as long as Milo's okay with it.
I consent to this.
Is it like a toothpick, another walking stick, and like 3 pairs of shoes? I'm curious what like this gear is.
Oh, it's just my basically my cooking utensils and my walking stick. It's kind of like just general adventuring gear, like a rope and.
Does he have
So
good
on.
shoes?
I don't know. My feet are wrapped in kind of tattered rags.
Is he? Since
With
you're,
with the like clawed toes pointing out the ends.
it's good. Before we leave, do you need some proper walking shoes? I see the others are all fairly well equipped.
I don't really wear like shoes, to be honest. I'm used to climbing the trees and walking through jungle and stuff. So yeah, this is fine.
Okay, I was just asking.
Mom's gonna hold his foot like 3 inches away from Scud's head. Yeah, and then he spreads his webbed feet out. You know, shoes are not always necessary. I just, for some reason, I assumed you maybe collected shoes or something interesting like Pinky might do. I see a pair on Pinky's back over there.
As we're leaving now, and we were talking to the guards, I just say to one of the guards, and assure them that don't worry, I'll either bring back proof that the goblin is innocent, or I'll bring back the goblin.
Good luck, Rusty. I know this might be the last time we're seeing you with your sis.
As some of the guards wave you off and give you a thumbs up. As you lead your kind of prisoner out of town, Rusty. One way or another, you're gonna get to the end of this. With that said, we see the party make for the wilderness. As you begin to walk along the trail, following the tracks, it's not that hard of a trail to follow as you continue along. Following the trail, Scud, of this person who tried to frame you, it's easy passage for one such as yourself. There's no jungle or trees smacking in your face, no snakes jumping out, no horrible Zorbo drop bears that would claw your eyes out.
Bloody drop
Nothing
bears.
like that, like in the jungles. Yeah, as you proceed along, the next hour or two goes by quite well as you make good progress. In the distance to the south, the mountains rise overhead as they come to engulf the most of the view ahead of you. The foothills rising up to them have craggy rocks barren that in the old days, millennia ago, the dwarves would have mined when they first made empires in this land. As you come up on them, on these rises, as noon starts to turn to afternoon, we see you slowly press on to look over what seems to be a rather lush landscape of hills. All manner of creatures live up in these, and it is not by any means a safe place. Most of the roads skirt around these mountains rather than working their way through them, and prospecting is a lucrative, although very dangerous gig. With that said, as you come to the crest of the mountains, do any of the party make any preparations as you see that some of the steps, Scud, seem to lead off the trail, as it seems these troglodytes have made their home in the foothills?
I take off my shield and I wear it on my shield arm. That's it. I'm a fighter. I don't have much.
I put on some brand new hide armor that I acquired.
Your last sale.
My last purchase, yeah.
Pinky takes out a bracelet with a Magitech crystal on top of it. A little bit kind of like a laser beam type contraption.
Yours is like, okay. I was about to say similar to Pinky, but it's not on a bracelet and it's on a laser. But some Marvel pull out a necklace from his neck and just kiss a coin and drop it back down into his shirt. It's like a little prayer to himself. That's about it.
Yeah, the passion of the passion of greed or economics.
Strong boy. Gotta
Hmm?
be strong.
Might have
Yeah.
been looking around at everyone. Does anyone need maybe a quick snack before we continue? Keep your energy up.
You just ate a whole pie.
I know, but that was
Oh,
hours ago,
Dad.
and we've been doing a lot of walking, and that's just empty carbohydrates. We need some protein as well, especially if we're going to activate our our short tissue muscle fibers. They need
what?
some protein. You know.
Does anyone know what he's talking about?
Post-workout
No,
pie
not a
sounds
clue.
much better.
Yes, I know what he's
Not-
talking about, but
not pretty.
it is just as boring as you assume it is.
Right, okay.
Well, say it's boring when it saves your life, as he bites down on one of his rations.
With that said, ration eating continuing, I think you all begin to move on as the tracks become a little more difficult to see, Scud. As who begins to lead the party on as you begin to move through? Looking ahead, there seems to be a series of ravines and valleys leading up into these foothills with craggy cliffs either side.
These tracks are getting harder to follow. Is anyone any good at like tracking stuff? No.
More
Sure.
concerned about not
No one
falling
wants
off
to
this
speak
ledge
up.
right now.
I don't think I've got anyone with good wisdom in the party. I've got +1, so screw it, onto it.
Same.
Survival check?
Yeah.
18.
Very good. Yeah, you see the prints are clearly freshly made, Rusty. You're guessing in the last day or two. I think hunting your sister, you've read a few books about this in the meantime, in case by some circumstance you'd have to do exactly this. The foot seems to be the same. It has the little like indent where someone was using a walking stick, and still seems to be only the left foot as you see it move wrong at a weird hobbling pace. Like you can tell that some of the strides are shorter than others. It's quite random in nature, like they struggle to walk. As you press on and follow them, it seems to lead into a ravine. As you look ahead, thanks to the way you follow the tracks, you see that there's a spot that allows you to peer down from above one of the ravines. They went through the ravine. You're going to guess they're going to come out on the other side. You can take the high ground or follow them in by the low ground. And either way, either they're going to be in the ravine somewhere or come out the other side, thanks to that high roll. So you can approach it from the high ground and get a look in the valley beforehand, or you can follow them straight in.
How large, like from entrance to what I would assume the exit be, is, can I tell, would it be like 300 feet? Would it be like 1,000 feet? Any sort of...
About 1,000 to 2,000 feet to the other side. You see a patchwork of small trees and shrubs growing in the area where clearly over generations soil is gathered in this ravine. Instead of craggy rock, there's a miniature lush like wood in this ravine.
Probably too far to send anyone to scout. I did have a thought though when I was looking at those tracks. This creature's is missing a foot. He's hobbling about all over the place. They're not intelligent creatures, and something got him to do what he's done. I'm wondering if he was put under the influence of something. Something might have been controlling him, or whatever. So it might be more than just troglodytes that we're gonna encounter.
They might have some sort of leader that has higher intellect.
Yes.
That's organizing the pack.
Or Scud is a mind-controlling wizard.
Again, that's very
No.
unlikely, but it is a possibility, certainly.
Hold on, let me try a sec. Marv, give me that gold coin round your neck. No, I don't think it's working.
Something gave me a headache just then. I don't know what that was. Like, a light buzzing.
That's all your short muscle fibers. That you were talking
High
about.
ground.
Alright, so we top or
say
down,
high
top or
ground?
bottom. High ground.
I mean, yeah, we could look from above. I don't have a
I
spy
think-
lens
I
or
think-
anything.
If we
I
take
could
the
in
high
shot,
ground, it's
but
over
far
for
down.
them.
Let's send Rusty down the ravine and the rest of us will go around the high ground. I think that's the best plan. I'll cover you, Rusty, I swear.
You're the one trying to clear your name here, mate.
Let's stay together and try not to increase any animosity that's already slowly brewing in
Oh, you
here.
think just because I'm a dwarf, I belong under the ground in the rocks?
Well, you will be on the
Alright,
rocks regardless if we're up or down. This is all a rocky area. Let's see from the top first, the high ground, and then we can always go down and investigate what's going down in the valley. You know.
Well, maybe we should try and like move a bit quieter in case there is anything down there, like so they don't hear us.
Oh,
Might be able to get a jump on them.
I mean, it's a bit hot, but I'll put the hoodie on.
Good point. I drop to my haunches and you hear the clinking and clattering of my chainmail as it goes everywhere. I actually managed to stop some of it.
Yeah, everyone go ahead and make me a stealth roll.
14.
15.
Natural 20.
25. Holy crap.
Guys may not be good at much, but they're good at sneaking.
Aw.
Well, some of us are.
Yes, good. Awfully too good at sneaking.
That's Pinky as the...
Yeah. For reference, the way
His bag is making way too much noise.
yeah. The way I do stealth is majority of the group need to succeed against a creature's passive perception.
Yeah.
Is how I do stealth, just to be clear. So Pinky won't drag down the entire group with his 6.
I could always send Sheila ahead too if you wanted someone to ski up.
Sheila. The fuck is Sheila?
He reaches under his vest and pulls out a giant tarantula, sort of just
Scud licks his lips.
Godverdamme, what is that?
larger than his hand, sort of like sits there and crawls around a bit.
They are
familiar.
horribly interesting creature spiders. What is that?
Let's see what we can see first, then we'll,
Good eating.
we'll determine Sheila's fate later.
Where I'm from, spiders are everywhere.
With that said, yeah, creeping up close to the hill. It's about 100-foot drop down a pretty vertical surface, nearly 40 degrees down, like collections of semi-cliffside, semi-sloped sides of the hill. Some trees grow up them. As you all pull yourselves over the side of the ravine, peering about the small valley down below with the press of trees over it, you can clearly see as Rusty, with your passive perception, you pick it out first. As you look down below, you see what appears to be 3 large feathered things. As you peer at them, they're about 300 feet away. As you look down, perched over a set of runes, maybe old dwarven runes or markers or something, cairns or the like. As you look at them, they're these enormous 8-foot tall tri-winged vultures feeding on corpses around this cairn. There's 3 of them total. As you hear them squawk, like distantly you hear them squawk, but just put it up as like natural birds. You didn't think they were this big. As you peer down, one of them could easily pick up Pinky, Scud, or maybe even Marv. You see, it's a bloody mess down there. These bodies are decently fresh. It's too bloody and a bit too far away to make out exactly what the bodies are.
We need to
That's
look
down.
at the bodies.
That's down in the canyon,
That's where the tracks go.
in the ravine. I mean, we could still just like keep following along the top and like keep an eye out down there. But I mean,
Maybe we can scare the birds off or something, and then we can like check the bodies. And
the birds will probably come after us.
Yeah, you're scared off, so I can't pick you up.
You look bite-sized to those things, Scud, and
What kind of birds are they?
if you go missing,
They look like vultures.
Are they not carrion birds? They eat dead things.
Are there any like big loose rocks around the top of the ravine that maybe we could like push down there or something?
Yeah,
That's not a bad
as you
idea.
as you peer about, there are several big rocks. You might have to be careful with the leverage, though, as they're on the precipice. If you were to dislodge them incorrectly, you might go tumbling with the rock down into the ravine.
what would the distance between us be to the birds?
About 200 or 300 feet. About 250 if we want to be if we want to remove the vertical.
I'd say unless the drop of the stone that we put down is going to be immediate, and not one that tumbles down the side of the hill. It's going to alert the birds regardless.
Let's get
I
him
like-
off.
I kind of like Rusty's idea of just keep walking on unless. If we look at the dead birds, are they obviously eating at something? If we just look.
Yeah, there's some bodies down there.
Yeah,
If
there's
they-
some bodies. The bodies have been ripped up pretty good and they're covered in blood.
No way to tell
mean,
from
what-
here
what-
if it was
what-
a troglodyte.
I mean, none of us can speak with the dead, as we've discovered. So, what would the gain be of going to go check out those bodies?
Be interested to see what they are and what maybe we can find out what killed them.
I pull out my light crossbow and just see if I can aim them up. I think it's
Taking
within
aim.
range of a light crossbow.
Might just barely be within range, Rusty.
80/320, so I'd be able to shoot with disadvantage.
Do you want to shoot at the birds?
Do we think the bodies currently being eaten by the carrion birds are the ones we are looking for?
There's probably some clues on their bodies. There might be a hole in the ground somewhere where they have made camp. I'm not quite sure, but I'm certain that these bodies contain particular interests to us.
Does it look like we'd be able to safely lower ourselves down into this ravine anyway, if we did scare the birds away?
Yeah, it'll
Is
take
there
some
enough of a
effort.
slope?
And yeah, it'll take some effort. Doing so, and not alerting the birds will be extremely difficult because there's so many loose rocks and whatnot.
Well, I think we'd be wanting to shoo the birds away anyway, if possible. I think that would be the intent, because then we'd want to inspect the bodies.
Yeah, they are eating right now though. So if we just let them eat, then we'll be fine because they have no reason to really attack us.
Maybe if we keep going around the ravine up top, by the time we get down and get back, those birds will have finished eating.
I thought you were wanting to check out the bodies, though. The longer we let them eat, the more fucked up the bodies will be.
Yeah, there will be nothing left.
I'm not interested in the flesh.
Oh, right. No, well, let's just continue on for now then, and then we can always come back and see if the birds have fucked off.
Why is that so macabre for some reason? I'm not interested in the flesh.
I am.
Yeah, just about to say, it's kind of sad, probably.
Look at
Because
this
you
shop
get
door,
like
man.
good meat go to waste. Like that's why I always keep my pans with me.
But you eat
While they're
humans?
looking at the birds, if Marv can just slink down the edge of the way, is there more to this crevasse? Because I believe the birds are only like in the first half of it.
Yeah, the crevasse is something like this. The birds are right here. You guys are up here. Basically,
Yeah.
you guys came in this way, stopped, and went round to here.
Hmm.
Yeah,
if
we'll
they're
just
like in the
keep
middle
walking
of
on
it,
the top and looking in and see what we see.
is this the middle of the whole thing, right here? Or are we like this is the middle of the crevasse? I'm assuming. So there's like
Yes.
the best spot to go back down. All right.
You could go around like that, or go back from where you came,
Yeah.
or you could climb down the center. But it'll be very difficult to be quiet trying to climb
We
down.
got told
this.
that, like, you know, the tracks heading in, we know they're headed in, and they either continued on past the ravine further anyway, or they stopped halfway in. It doesn't really matter what entrance we go into, might as well go around the back and see. Pick up
I
the
agree.
track
The question
again and see
is,
where they go.
are you gonna try and shoo the birds away, fight them, or wait for them to finish?
Let's continue on for now, ignore them, and then check out the end of the ravine.
Probably finish their meal by the time we go around.
Yeah, as you guys press on, clambering back away from the edge of the ravine, go ahead and make me another survival roll, whoever's leading, as you reach the other edge of the ravine about 10 minutes later of walking downhill now to where the mouth of the ravine exits.
Rusty.
I think it has been falling on me, so...
I have the same
15?
role as you, but you are the native to this land.
I'm a book
Yeah.
nerd.
As you peer down, you see the tracks exiting the mouth of the ravine and leading further southwards away from the corpses.
So the corpses are unrelated as far as we know?
far as we know.
Can you tell what kind of like are there more tracks? Is it the same as like the other track we were following? Like, is it like trog tracks?
Yeah, it's still got the 1 foot, the
Yeah,
one.
but like, is there
little
more
dot.
now? Like,
As you look, you see 3 sets of troglodyte tracks leading the opposite direction, closer to it, Rusty. So one troglodyte came out, 3 went in.
Well, deductive reasoning would say that those troglodytes are probably the ones that are being eaten.
yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know what's to gain from going to go check out the bodies, though.
I agree.
Did we just follow a stud, or is this peg-legged one really going to lead us somewhere?
There's only one way to find out.
Oh,
I think we should keep going.
Should be easier to follow now because there was 4 of them at this point.
As you proceed up, no, there's not 4. There's just 1 now. 3 are going the other way into the ravine, and only 1 came out, the peg leg.
I assumed the 4 of them were together from wherever they came from all together, and then the 3 went into the ravine, and then the 1 came to our city.
Does that mean that the companions of the peg-legged one are the ones up there, as he sort of points to the bird's location? Then
Yeah,
it's
that part I
yeah.
get.
I
I
thought
figured they all
yours.
came together.
You saw 2 bodies.
But then we should investigate the bodies. Right?
It's troglodytes. What are they going to have on them? A fork and a knife?
It's not. We are. Didn't you want to find out who burned down your shop?
Yeah, but we can't speak to the dead ones.
Is there any way to anchor them to the ground? Because I'm not especially good at flying.
Yes.
I have some
Over the
axes
safe
I
way.
can throw, but it would be useful. Yes.
You have to come down to eat you, though, don't they? You can hit
True.
them then.
True. I'm actually quite good at hitting things if they come close to me, so I guess it's smart.
Go ahead, Pinky. I believe you had something to say.
I was just looking at the sky. Does it look like there's rain clouds coming?
Make a nature roll as you peer at the sky.
It's howling.
But whenever we do proceed...
You hear Zeus yodeling.
Natural 20.
It is. Well, there's no crits.
Nat
for that,
20.
but,
Oh, no, okay, that's fine.
yeah, but looking at the skies, it's very easy to tell. It's not going to rain for probably at least a day or so. At least in every direction, you don't see any like very dark clouds. Most of them appear to be quite light and fluffy.
Well, it doesn't appear like it's going to rain, so the tracks will probably stay intact for quite a while. Let's go look at the other troglodytes.
So yeah, you guys begin to head down into the valley as Marv begins to sneak. I presume you press ahead of everyone, Marv?
Nope, in the back. If the birds are gonna come down, they're gonna go for them and all. Just support them.
There's our rogue.
I'm 20 feet behind the party.
Let's try and get a jump on them.
Yeah.
With Pinky, not by my
Yeah.
side.
Can everyone else make me a stealth roll as you all begin to creep forward?
And here's where I fail.
I'll be second
6.
to back.
Natural 20 for Rusty.
12 for Scud.
I'm the best.
I can't.
20 for Pinky.
Sorry, guys, I keep bumping into you.
You should have read a book about stealthing.
Yeah. So as you all creep forward, let me see their passive real quick.
To be fair, if everyone's sneaking, Marv would be in the front then, because there's no way they would draw the attention away since everyone's being quiet.
Yeah. As you all creep forward towards the birds, they don't seem to notice you guys, at least not yet. You guys get about this far, you can move yourselves 20 feet from the map, still behind cover, or else they will see you. As you manage to creep that close, as you peer, they appear to be consuming, at least 2 of the tri-winged vultures appear to be consuming the remains of two bodies. As you come closer, ducking behind trees and bushes up onto the hill, you see them picking and pulling apart the meat as the scent of iron is in the air.
Do they have much cover from where we are now?
Um, a little bit, not enough to give them any mechanical benefits. The one of them is stocked up on one of the dwarven ruins, as best as you can see. They seem to be like on top of like a memorial tablet or something, probably made by the dwarves.
How high are these sort of inclines of the hills?
Each of the inclines are like these muddy inclines. They're about 10 feet tall, at least these two are, and the last one is 5 feet. I'll mark them just for future reference.
If we're trying to scare them off, maybe we all just scream and throw things at them, and it'll just scare them off, and shoot and whatnot. You know, hurt them a little bit probably.
That is not a bad idea. We are close to trees, so we have some cover from aerial attacks if they decide to swoop down.
I'd rather use the element of surprise. So if we could just like a 1, 2, 3, can we all manage a coordinated thing here? Can you all count down from 3? Looking at Pinky and Scud, I guess. I don't know who I'd look at more.
Yeah, so you're all gonna combine like scream and try and like start
I'm not stupid.
I'm gonna knock on my scream and knock on my my sword on my shield real loud.
Sure. So everyone make me. This will be we'll put a skill threshold on it. Everyone make me an intimidation roll. If everyone collectively scores above a 35 in like added up score, you manage to freak them out.
And in conjunction to it, I was going to shoot an arrow. And Rusty, I think he also had a bow.
You be a bit busy
one
to
take
shoot,
okay.
So it's one or the other.
One or the other.
13.
So 1, 2, 3, and
Hey!
With a bellowing shout, you're like, as they like freak out, with a flap of wings and feathers going everywhere. Let me make wisdom saves here for these guys. DC is DC as an 18. See if they flee. 1 flees, 2 flees, 3 flees as they all dart up into the air. They shoot away without their quarries, squawking in fear as they like as they shoot away in all directions. A ton of large feathers rain down on you all like a rain or like confetti, congratulating you all as they shoot off out of the ravine.
Everybody's quick. They might come back.
Get the fuck out of here! Waving his arms as he runs towards the ramp. Get out of here, you beast!
Let's investigate the bodies.
Yeah, they might come back. We should be quick.
Yeah, running up the hill. Let's go, come on, Scott, I'll push you up over the hill. Pushes him up onto the ledge. Oh, there's a ramp. What am I doing?
Just froze him off it.
Okay, are those troglodytes for sure? But what are those things?
As you peer at them, clearing off some of the blood, you see 2 troglodyte corpses and the marks of a third one that has been dragged off.
Oh yeah, I can see that now.
As you peer around at the scene of the crime, or whatever happened here, you see the tracks from the peg-legged troglodyte leading away from here, specifically over towards the 3rd corpse.
That's the 3rd corpse?
Yep, right there. You can see the blood mark. As you see a place where someone was clearly dead for a bit. It's drenched and made a blood imprint of where they were, almost like a fingerprint, but with an entire body. As you look, you see a pool of blood around the foot of the troglodyte, or where its foot would have been, but no body.
Something's taking feet from troglodytes and getting them to go burn down buildings.
No, but it looks like someone's cut his foot off, but then where's his body?
For what reason would someone cut off a foot?
Would anyone
Some people are
who's
into that sort of thing.
caring to medically investigate these troglodytes begin? Who would like to lead as you begin to? Someone with a high medicine roll.
Can
probably
I
lead.
athletically investigate them?
Oh, that's +1, mate.
So who's gonna lead?
Go on, Ryan.
All right. Marv is the most invested at this point. He will attempt a roll and search.
No.
Take a knee. As you look over the corpse, they've been
11.
kicked over pretty badly by the vultures. As you roll the troglodyte over, you see a mark along its back that doesn't look like a vulture caused it. As you peer over it, you see what appears to be flesh that's singed and burned with a craterous wound in its back, like a kidney shot.
Burned.
Normally, I'm rolling bodies to find valuables, so figuring out exactly what this is, you'll gesture to that burned mark is not too savvy at it, but I do believe this is not of natural cause. The claws would not make this, this bubbling, pussing-looking thing.
Also,
So
we've
either-
got 3 corpses here
And one in my shop.
and 1 in your shop, so that's 4 bodies. Then we saw 3 tracks total.
3 tracks total coming into the ravine, 1 going in the ravine with the peg leg guy.
So
Do we
4 total.
see a tree trunk that has like the remains of a peg-legged carving?
You do not,
Can I
unfortunately.
just do a very basic investigation around the area, like with these rocks and stuff, just to see if there's anything?
Yeah.
No.
But
Yeah,
do
looking
that.
over at the dwarven scribing, it appears to be written in dwarven. It's hail to the passions, a prayer to protect the miners. Quite old, probably a couple of centuries, Rusty. They're not uncommon. It's to protect travelers, miners, and the like in the foothills. Didn't protect these troglodytes.
Like Scud's
mine
keeping
is.
an eye on the sky in case the birds come back.
Yeah, so we see Scud continuing to scan.
I just say
I'm
we
gonna
get
help
out there
with
and
it. I'm looking for the birds.
we go start following those
Yeah,
that exit track again, because
Yeah.
go ahead and make an investigation
what's
roll,
going on.
Rusty, as you inspect all the tracks for any oddities. Peering over the tracks, you're led back to the blood imprint of the third corpse. You see that there should be more drag marks of blood as it got dragged a little bit. Then there's a blood pool by its foot. And then all of a sudden it stops. With the amount of blood, there should have been a blood trail leading away. But then
Well, I thought maybe
all
a vulture
tracks
like
seem to
dragged and
stop.
carried away.
Yeah.
So it just disappears, basically. It's like it's been dragged and then it just disappears.
It could
Yes.
be
Do I
carried away by a bird,
potentially
right?
know of any spells that could do this?
A bird, Rusty, as you peer about, would have left blood flecks all over the place, as like it dripped everywhere, and it would have splattered out in a pattern with that investigation roll.
So we've
Yeah.
got a body, blood drag, pool of blood, nothing.
Rusty, you said that there's no blood there, but there should be. Is there some kind of, as a sort of
Well,
ponders,
there's blood here, but it just comes to an abrupt end.
would healing do this?
You cannot heal corpses.
He would
have
have
to-
bled out. So what kind of, can I search my mind to see what kind of spell that this might have done this? Like made him raise from the dead?
Prestidigitation, but Mulder would have left noticeable marks, which Rusty doesn't find.
But there's also
Prestidigitation is the most common one, which could do it quickly.
there's also a dead man walking who apparently died from the wound, but then ran to the town and died in a fire again.
Mm-hmm.
So was he raised? Could he have been raised from the dead somehow?
Could have, but the body should have still been bleeding if that was the case. Like, these corpses aren't that long dead, and the blood pool is slightly coagulated, but there should have been blood trails in the alleyway and in Marv, like around Marv's store. Not in it because it would have burned, but close by.
What about if he closed off the leg with like a hot iron or something?
That would be feasible then, as you peer about. There should be evidence of a fire or
I
Or
mean,
a
something
spell that
singing.
causes searing
I think
things
what
in
he's
the
just telling
back.
us is
I'd
there's
like.
no evidence of anything. We can make whatever assumptions we want, but
yeah.
Yeah.
there's nothing to.
I'd like to look
indicate.
at the wounds in the back of these troglodytes and try and
Oh,
deduce
yeah.
maybe if a spell would have caused this, or
Yeah,
like a firebolt, or
make an Arcana roll, Pinky, as you peer at the wound Marv pointed out.
On the other one, I want to rifle through its pockets if he has anything.
They are not wearing pockets. You would just be feeling up its genitals. if,
Oh, that's a different kind of pocket.
that's
Right.
Prison
Yep.
pocket.
That's right.
With that
Shit.
said, Pinky, as we see Marv
why
wipe
does
his
it
hands
matter?
on the grass, we see Pinky. It could have been a firebolt, or perhaps a bonfire if they had a fallen on it, but that doesn't seem. The wound seems craters. Yeah, so fireball makes sense, or maybe a scorching ray. Those are the only two you can think of. There are more, but they probably would have eviscerated this thing and been more damaging.
I think we're dealing with a spellcaster. These wounds are synonymous with fire magic, and if we're to look at that person's foot, then perhaps it was cauterized somehow with magic.
I'm getting real nervous, by the way, about the birds. Unless we can certainly get anything else out of these guys, I really think we should try and X-nay this.
As you look
Yeah.
up, Scott, you see one of the birds fly back as it perches on a rock and peers at you as it goes.
I think it might be time to leave, fellas.
Leave them to their meal. Yes, let's go.
Try and slide down the hill on my way out.
Yeah, you slide down the hills and quickly make your escape as you guys exit the valley, as there's only one trail left to follow, the weird hobbled prints of the one troglodyte.
All right.
Okay.
Don't know what we learned from that, other than we all have very good voices. I'm proud of all of you. Good hearty
questions.
scream. It did leave us with more questions rather than answers, sadly.
So we followed the other trail.
As you continue to follow the trail, you crest a corner as you see the entrance to a complex dug out of these large, almost canyon-like walls that lead up into the mountains proper to the south. As you peer up, you see several paths leading up these craggy rocks and several totems with strange banners covered in reds and whites, no doubt blood, as you see the symbol of a lizard with stereotypically large fangs painted across it as they blow in the tattered wind not too far up the trail, a couple 1,000 feet above these first totems. You see the silhouette of a squat being that doesn't look too dissimilar to Marv, as you recognize the rough outline of a troglodyte in the distance. It doesn't seem to notice you all, as most of you go to a hunch behind the nearby rocks.
1,000 feet away.
A couple thousand.
Couple thousand.
Mhm.
Does it tickle any memory, the banners that we see?
Rusty, you would recognize them. They look familiar to that clan that some of the guards brought back trophies from when going on a trog hunt some decade ago. Can you make me a history check, Rusty? I'll give you advantage because you actually live in town.
22.
Rusty, it is in fact the exact same banner from 10 years ago. The clan that disappeared, or should have.
Yeah, our town has had issues with this clan in the past. Many years ago now, but I remember that banner.
Who are they?
Looks like it.
They're troglodytes. I don't know much more about them. I was fairly young at the time. Well, younger.
What kind of trouble did they cause? And how many were they usually?
I just remember hearing word that some of the guards and stronger townsfolk went out and hunted them down for a bit, and they were brought back trophies from them. Don't know anything about their encounter, but I mean, this was like 10 years ago now anyway, so anything could have changed. Their numbers could have amassed. I remember them saying that there were vicious creatures.
So
Well,
what do we
like I was
do?
saying earlier, can't reason with them or be reasonable when we do meet these creatures. They're gonna get one end of this pointy stick, I can tell you that.
We can still try to reason. We do not know what happens now. A person of 10 years ago might not be the same person today. Everyone can
We're
change.
talking about
They don't even speak a
species.
language.
Talking about a species here.
They're monstrous creatures that don't even speak a language, so I don't...
Many
I'm
would say the
obviously-
same about goblins.
Yeah, I'm obviously all for giving people the benefit of the doubt. That's definitely what we should normally do, but I don't know about with these things.
Yeah, as you know, Rusty, every single member of the troglodyte race is born with is a dark air. Them being monstrous races that apparently they have no good members of their species being reincarnated. They are
Yeah,
from a
troglodytes,
savage
goblins,
bloodlust.
same thing.
Yes, usually monsters born with all members of a race as darkers means that there was no one that really was ever good or came with good intentions from their species. So what Milo is saying is 99.9% unlikely that they will be in any way hospitable. They might, out of their own selfishness, greed, or violence, bandy words with you, but it'd be difficult to trust them as a group long term.
They've also been a problem for the city in the past, so we know that they likely will attack humans.
You sound like you have good intentions, Milo, but it's a good job you strapped that shield to your arm because we're probably going to be in for a fight. Let's start creeping closer.
As the party begins to creep closer, with vengeance for arsonists in view, we will end today's session there as they come up upon this troglodyte den or perhaps an old ruin.
There we go.
We will see what they find carved in the mountain next week.